Kuhn is the fullback with the first and goal. Kuhn gets the call. Pyle driving his way in for the touchdown. What a great second effort.
Y'all don't really want it like that. Here comes the. Here comes the. Here comes the. Y'all don't really want it like that. I said so. I keep big bills up in my heart on the dirty like blood. So ain't got no twist in my head, but I'm still dreadful.
Wolfpack, what's going on? It's your boy, the Wolf of Roto Street. RotoStreetJournal.com. We breed and feed you fantasy wolves. Here with your Week 14 sit-start show. My guy, CJ, will be in momentarily. He's just popping in, getting home. Shortly will be with us. A couple technical difficulties there. But as always, I'll get you started up because we got to win it this week for so many of us. It's the fantasy playoffs. The stakes couldn't be higher for many. Some of us also trying to get that bye week, essentially a ticket to the semifinals. So much on the line, Wolfpack, and that is why I am here to help you get it right. You can find me, of course, at RotoStreetWolf and all our content at RotoStreetJournal.com. Let us dive in, though. If you don't mind, early on here, just hitting that thumbs up button. It does truly help us get out to more people. If you enjoy what you're hearing, it would be so greatly appreciated. We'll answer all those questions, get them on in, and, of course, that super chat and the call-in function will get you cut up ahead of the line, too. As always, we'll go Thursday night takeaways, some news for today, and then the rest of the time, about 2 hours, on to your questions. Thanks again so much, Wolfpack, for being here. I know it's going to be a wild one with 6 teams on bye in week 14. I don't know what we're doing, NFL. Brutal scheduling, but I will do my best not to laugh or make fun of any of your sit-start questions because you should see some of mine. It is horrid. We're getting creatures in our lineups, folks, so I am here to help guide you through any of that I can. Just a couple quick Thursday Night Football takeaways. It was a gross, ugly showing, so I'm not trying to read too much into this, but we learned a bit. Derek Carr, don't trust him again. Rest of season, 137 yards, no touchdowns, 2 picks, brutal, awful, kind of tanked Adams, 71 on 3 catches. Yeah, it's okay, but you always start Adams. No more Carr. Done with that experience. I was -5 ECR. Didn't like him anyways. I'm glad hopefully some of you avoided him on my recommendation to play Huntley, Mike White ahead of him. So hopefully you avoided that absolute disaster. Josh Jacobs continues to be the fantasy MVP of the year. 27 carries, 99 yards, and a score, locking up nearly every single snap, 48 of 57. The guy was in there for all the early downs, but 3, every single goal line. He's a beast, absolute monster. The real story, though, is the revival of Baker Mayfield. 230 yards, 1 touchdown. Doesn't sound anything crazy, but if you watched the game, you saw that final drive, 98 yards in under 2 minutes. He had just scored a few minutes earlier, down 2 touchdowns with 3:30 left. Insane. So good to see. I don't know how I feel about Baker. I kind of think he's a douche, but after the game, the way he was answering questions, I felt a little bit better about him. He seems humbled by what's been happening, and he's just grateful to be in a good spot. So I can't say I'm rooting against him or really hard for him, but I was excited to see what happened. I don't know why. That doesn't really necessarily explain my fandom for him. It just is what it is. I'm happy to see it. Hopefully he does revive himself at least these next couple of games. We'll see what happens. Van Jefferson did catch that game winner, 44 and touchdown, but only 4 targets compared to 8 for Ben Skoranek. He was Van Jefferson 4th on the team in targets. So yeah, the fantasy line, 11 points, looks okay. I cut him where I have him for Greg Dortch, and we'll talk about why in a little bit. The last was Cam Akers. He did have 42 and a touchdown, but a fumble did put him below 10 points. That's right where we said he's going to be 10 to 12. I didn't want to start him if I didn't have to, but he got some points for you. I think the big thing was he fumbled and then didn't get benched. He did end up playing 27 snaps compared to 19 for Kyle and 18 for Malcolm Brown. 3-headed gross situation in a bad offense with a bad offensive line typically does not mean fantasy success. So moving forward, I don't really care about any of these running backs. I think they're wastes of roster space. I'd rather have Josh Kelly, Matt Breida, handcuff situations. Obviously, Travis Homer today. Things of that nature, I'd rather have. So if you have Akers on your bench, there's better ways to spend the roster spot. Get a high upside handcuff. Get a defense like the Titans for week 16, things of that nature. All righty, folks. That covers all the Thursday Night Football takeaways. Maybe it prompts a question for you. If it does, please get it on in there. Let's move forward, though, with our Week 14 quarterback news. Trevor Lawrence, questionable, is expected to play with that toe injury. It's an interesting spot. I think this game has shootout potential, but I don't know. I just don't feel great in my gut about Trevor Lawrence. What if it flares up? They're playoffs. They're out of the playoffs at this point. Are they really going to risk this guy if he takes a couple big hits? I'm not sure. I'm a little bit worried about it. I get the matchup again, Tennessee, the ultimate pass funnel, but they play so slow. I just think December, Derrick Henry comes out, spanks him around, and then they go home dejected. So I really don't want to go to Trevor Lawrence if I don't have to. In fact, I prefer Trevor Huntley. We got Lamar Jackson. He's doubtful. He's not playing this week. And I like Huntley. He had a 40-point day last week, so or last year rather. There's a ceiling. He was on pace for about 20 fantasy points, about 5 a quarter in his game last week. Looked very accurate. He's looked great all preseason. He was a fantasy solid option last year, like a quarterback 14 across the starts. But again, a couple huge booms and no real crazy bust because he does get you some leg points. Averaged over 60 yards on the ground last year as a runner. They're going to design certain plays like that. So I have no qualms going to him. I feel like, yes, the Steelers defense, they're better and TJ Watt expected to be in, but I actually think that game, the lowest over under of the entire slate, wouldn't be shocked if we actually get far more points. And I think it's set at 36.5 right now. I don't know. I just feel okay about Trevor Huntley today. And then Deshaun Watson, he's going to be under the center the rest of the season. I'd rather go to Huntley. I'd even rather probably have Lawrence, who I said I'm not that into. I have Deshaun Watson all the way down at 15. We saw this Cincinnati defense limit Pat Mahomes last week. Watson looked like steaming hot garbage would be kind to describe how bad he looked last week. So I don't know. I'm not trying to go to Deshaun Watson if I don't have to as well. I know a lot of us like me. I got to start somebody over Justin Fields. I'm going to Huntley. I had Watson and I'm going to Huntley. So let me know what you guys have for quarterback questions. If you're swimming in some mud, we'll figure it out together. The running back news we're tracking of the day. And of course, in the chat, if you see something, it's always helpful. Saquon Barkley, questionable. He is truly 50-50. At first, it sounded like, he's going to be good. It's fine. This is, playoffs on the line type of game. So if he's good, he's probably going to be in there. They don't have any, they have incentive to get him out there, but a true 50-50 shot. Matt Breida is still right around 18% rostered. Go out and get him, whether you need Saquon or not. It's just nice to have that handcuff. Maybe you're blocking an opponent. What if they do lose and then they decide to shut down Saquon for the last few weeks? We've seen Breida perform at a solid NFL level. There's a year, just a few seasons ago, where he was top 5 in rushing yardage through almost the first half of the year. Breida can play. He's an explosive guy. So he's one of those handcuffs that I do actually have interest in. So I'd go pick him up immediately. Leonard Fournette was listed as questionable. He didn't practice all week, but then is ultimately expected to play in week 14. I don't like this backfield at all right now when both are in. Fournette actually outsnapped Rachaad White, who did outproduce him. He had a game-winning touchdown. It's the type of play that ultimately could earn him more work. It's a tricky situation, though, for Leonard Fournette against the 49ers and Rachaad White as well. If Fournette was out, I would say hammer Rachaad White, no qualms there. But in a 50-50 murky situation and the hardest matchup you can possibly have, I'm probably avoiding these Bucs running backs. I'd rather go to Travis Homer, assuming Ken Walker and DJ Dallas, who are both listed as game-time decisions. Both are expected, according to Adam Schefter, to be out. So this is why a guy you have a lot of questions on. Travis Homer, Tony Jones even now enters the discussion. I'll clear two things up in my opinion. I think Tony Jones is absolute and utter garbage. Zero interest in ever going to him. I went to him once last year. I think it was on Thanksgiving even, so I had to just sit and watch the entire game. He's bad. He's not a good player. And even last week when he started to pick up volume, didn't look any better. No interest in Tony Jones. Is Travis Homer that much better than him? Well, one, the bar is extremely low, so yes. And two, I actually kind of like Homer, and the team truly likes him too. They've raved about one thing that I think is crucial, his pass protection. I wouldn't be shocked at all to have a big Geno Smith day today with the running backs all decimated. Maybe they go to the air, and that's why Travis Homer, better pass catcher, better pass protector, and overall just better at everything than Tony Jones. I wouldn't be shocked to see him become a 15, 20-touch guy. It's week 14, and this happens every single season. Time is an endless loop. Thomas Rawls back in the day. Some of you guys might be just glorified hearing that name again. I love him. He won me a title one year. Thomas Rawls. Who else do we got? Carlos Hyde in the day. Even last year, Rashad Penny. Every year this happens. Late down the stretch, a random Seahawk comes in at a crucial juncture and has a big day. And I do not think it's Travis Homer. I will hammer the table. Maybe. I don't think it's Tony Jones, rather. It's definitely Travis Homer compared to him. who knows? Maybe they're both useless, but I'm actually going to it. I think Carolina, top 5, bottom 10 matchup, or rather a bottom 10 defense in fantasy points allowed. Whew, tripping over myself because I'm so excited about Travis Homer today. It's a good spot for him. It's a good spot for Foreman. I just like that game in general. So all that long way to say, I know we'll probably get a lot of Travis Homer questions, and I like him a lot. I have him above the Bucs running backs right now, assuming, of course, again, Ken Walker is out. There wasn't a report last night. He's like 50-50. So we'll see. But I feel good about Travis Homer today. I'm playing him. Last but not least, at running back, Damian Harris. He's doubtful. Ramondre Stevenson, obviously, to smash him, one of the best picks he could have made this year. And J.K. Dobbins has been activated. We'll see how much he plays. I certainly don't trust him, but hey, he's lingering a lot of waiver wires at this point. You can go check, see if he's there. There's some upside, but I'd rather have, should I roster J.K. Dobbins, James Cook? Give me James Cook. I think he belongs on rosters far more than J.K. Dobbins, more explosive offense, clearer path to carries. They always want some sort of 3-headed, 4-headed, disgusting nightmare there in Baltimore. So just a murky situation gets even murkier. I don't trust Gus Edwards. I don't trust nobody in that backfield today and really down the stretch most likely. Moving on to the wide receiver position, Wolfpack, we got about 30 of you here. Again, that thumbs up button is so greatly appreciated. If you like it, it does help us grow. It gets us out to more people. We're about 50 away from 3K subscribers. That's a big goal of this season. So if you haven't already and you're enjoying the show, we're live 4 times a week to answer your questions. Please consider hitting sub and helping us continue to climb. Join in the Wolfpack. Let's move on to wide receivers. And then again, we've got a lot of good questions coming in. Can't wait to hammer away at them. Pete Carroll saying DK Metcalf is playing. He's been just an absolute alpha. Him and Tyler Lockett, both, it's as if Russ never left. The double stacks, if you did that in best ball this year, you're probably looking to swim in cash. So I absolutely love DK Metcalf. He's in lineups. You know that. Tyler Lockett, obviously, in lineups too. Great spots indeed. Oh, from the rafters, the truth making an appearance. It's been a while, buddy. How are you? On a Sunday.
I know, on a Sunday. You never know what you're going to get with this company.
I love it, man. I love it. How did the wrestling go on Thursday?
The wrestling is fun. If you've ever seen really small children who don't know how to wrestle, you're really you're missing out if you've never seen that before.
I haven't, no.
Yeah, well, put it on your bucket list.
I'll put it to the bucket list for sure. Visit Italy, see little kids wrestle that I have never said, don't know how to do it. Sounds
right.
Good.
Yeah. And you've only got a small window to do that because eventually they will know how to wrestle.
Yes.
And it won't be as funny anymore. We went, took a family trip to New York yesterday, so that was fun. Got a lot of steps in. You understand why a lot of people in New York are not overweight because they're walking everywhere. And
that's awesome, though. Just a day trip? Did you stay overnight?
No, just a day trip. I realized my son had never been. We went to the Natural History Museum, went and ate at a bunch of the places my wife and I used to eat at when we were dating in New York City. It was a really good trip. We're going to do it more often. But now I'm supremely focused on making the playoffs in the one league I'm still alive in. How are you doing? How are you doing?
Oh, I'm good. I'm laser focused. Like I were saying at the top, I'm actually in a few playoffs that started early this week. Shocking there.
Do you hate these bye weeks?
Do or die time. Yeah,
Don't you hate these bye weeks? I mean, you're in the playoffs, so you got half your guys out, right?
Who could have had something like, this is sickening. They have to change this in future years because, like you said, it's an extension of the playoffs. Some people are in actually playoff matchups here, a high stakes league like the FPPC, things of that nature. Like it's brutal right now to have this many buys when such crucial junctures. Like we were just talking about Travis Homer. I know me and you've been texting about him this morning. So it's going to be like backs of fantasy titles are going to be like on Travis Homer, on Matt Breida potentially. So it's a weird week. We left off. I just shared it with you because I know you're jumping in here kind of cold. I shared with you the Google Doc for the Sunday show. We're in wide receivers at this point, so we're actually almost done with the news and on to questions. So why don't you just kind of rip through it, the rest of the notes we got, and we'll hit some questions.
Yeah, let's do it. I'm gonna call up the doc that you shared. So keep going, and I'll rejoin you in like 10 seconds. So I'll give you my full brain capacity for the questions.
Perfect. We got T. Higgins. He's expected to play this week. Obviously, you're playing T. Higgins. The Cleveland Browns defense is horrendous, giving up tons of big plays. I do think it's Jamar Chase week. I'm stoked. I think this is going to be one of those like 40-point days. Jamar Chase, DFS, you had to have him. Everyone's going to Henry at the same price, and deservedly so. He's my running back one of the week. But all that to say, I'm really big on Chase. Even still, you play T. Higgins today. It's a good matchup. He could be the one that goes off for 25, and you need to have it certainly in this matchup. Cooper was questionable for week 14. He is expected to play, though, at this point. He's on the road. He's had one solid game on the road and against Buffalo, nonetheless. Otherwise, Cooper has been really, really bad, like under 4 fantasy points a game on the road. So it makes you a little bit nervous. Plus, you got this hip injury, plus Deshaun Watson look like shit. So Cooper is definitely a tough guy to rank. I've been back and forth just because he's had around 30%. Like, he's had a great target share all year. So I do trust in like the volume and the plays being dialed up for him. But everything seems to check negatively for him. It's tough to sit him at a juncture like this, especially with so many teams on bye. But if you have Cooper questions, let us know, because he is someone I'm a little bit lower than ECR on. Someone you might ask, like, versus Cooper. I think I'm going to go with this guy, Mike Williams. He's expected to play. I know that's scary. I know you'll probably have some questions, Truth, about Mike Williams.
Yeah, I mean, he's a guy that I'm specifically right now. I had decided I wasn't going to play him, and now it's like he has no injury designation. He's going to play, which is just – this is just the slow game to reel me in to play Mike Williams to see him get 3 fantasy points. I know what's going on. I see what the fantasy gods are doing to me. I'm not an idiot.
Laying the bait out for you, a little cheese to lead you down the path. And they're doing the same thing to me. And guess what? I'm eating it too. I don't
All right, as long as you're eating it too.
As long as you know what they're doing to you, how can you complain? They're setting it up perfectly for us.
Oh, I can complain. I can complain.
We can complain, but we're going to accept it. We know we're on the puppet strings. But yeah, Mike Williams, I'm going to go to him. I think it's a good game atmosphere tonight, Miami versus the Chargers. Like, your question, I think this is one I might see giving a good measuring stick. Brandon Ayuk or Mike, right? That's what the question was.
That was in my lineup, yes. I mean, because my other guys are CeeDee Lamb and Amon-Ra St. Brown. Obviously, I'm throwing those guys in. Right.
Oh, my God, especially Amon today. Whew, great matchup for him.
Yeah, I'm hoping maybe he'll just carry me and none of this Travis Homer bullshit will even matter.
It might not. Hopefully, Amon can just say, I'm your guy and carry you, and he certainly is capable. But this is what I like about Mike Williams. Big game atmosphere. And, like, compare those two, Brandon Ayuk, Mike Williams. You need you said you're an underdog. You need a blow-up. Whose arm do you want to be attached to? The rocket launcher of Justin Herbert or whatever Brock Purdy is, who actually kind of liked what I saw out of the kid. He's got at least some nuts. Like, you can tell he feels like he belongs. And that's, with this offense, probably all you need. All that to say, though, obviously I want to go.
I'm still not betting my house on that guy.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So I'm going to go to Mike. Like you mentioned, the no injury designation feels good. Last time we were in the spot, it did flare up. He got knocked out early. That's a big risk. And like, that's something you got to decide if you want to stomach or not, or if you need to stomach it or not. If you're a big underdog, as you mentioned, you might just need to stomach that risk for the 20 plus fantasy point upside. Mike was really, really solid. No Keenan Allen. I get that. But those two are different type of roles. And I think I can't wait to see what this offense could actually look like again with both a healthy Keenan and Mike, if neither one of them are limited at all. I don't think we've seen that version of the Chargers yet, and I'm very excited to see it tonight in a shootout style game. I'm all about trying to get into that game.
I feel like the Chargers have been so underwhelming this year, and anytime we're just like, oh, look out for the Chargers putting up 45, they put up like 13 or something like that. So I don't know. Yeah. I'm extremely negative on them. I'm extremely pessimistic on them, and I'm still rolling the guy out there for the exact reasons that you laid out. It was a very compelling argument. Do I really want to be attached? If you said Justin Herbert's got a rocket launcher, what would you call Purdy's arm? Like one of those plastic catapult things that you made like when you were in grade school?
Right, exactly. Pulling back and shooting rocks.
Plastic cafeteria spoon.
It's what's crazy though is when you look at his weapon, it's like that's the materials it's made out of, but then you're able to fire rockets because you do have Deebo Samuel, like George Kittle and Brandon Ayuk. So like he's got weapons.
No, and he's not bad. I'm hating on him and I'm teasing him, but hopefully he'll come on the show sometime.
Welcome to the show, Brock Purdy. Good friend of the pod. Super chat.
Right.
We do not have David Campanelli today watching.
What? Why not?
He had like a brunch for his kid, prioritizing the children.
A brunch for a child?
Yeah, seriously. I agree. Come on, Dave. Campanelli.
Dave, what are you doing?
But Chris B hitting us with a super chat.
All right. Here's $5 for pulling Thomas Rawls out of the clouds. Desperate at wide receiver. Probably going Dortch, but also have Jameson Williams. Thoughts on Williams?
So great question. And we're just getting to receivers, and I was just about to get to Dortch. So perfect timing, Chris D, and welcome to the show. I certainly think hearing Thomas Rawls out of nowhere, and then being reminded that day he got you like 40 fantasy points, That's worth $5. I'll take that. Yeah.
Yeah,
You probably just got sent to a really good place hearing his name, or a really dark place if he steamrolled you. Sorry about
right.
that.
If Thomas Rawls is responsible for you being eliminated from the playoffs,
yeah, exactly.
I understand if you're really, really
I'm sorry to re-trigger your PTSD on Thomas
Right.
Rawls. Either way, it's one or the other. But yeah, Greg Dortch is my play here. I love the talent of Jameson Williams. I think we're about a year away. I think he's going to wreck the league not too far in the future, but I don't think it's going to be in 2022. Greg Dortch, meanwhile, when Rondale Moore's been out, and of course, I understand the preface. He did not have Hollywood and DeAndre Hopkins. One of them was always out when Greg Dortch was doing this. But I do think the slot role is very valuable. And I don't know he'll go to these levels, but 13.3, 15.5, 17, and 19.3 points. Those are the 4 games he played with one of those guys out, with Rondale Moore out, and then one of Hollywood or Hopkins. Could it be a trap because he didn't have those 2 in there? Of course, that's 2 great mouths to feed. But I do think Dortch always playing the slot no matter what. I'm a big fan of the guy. I'm actually streaming him where I'm desperate at wide receiver. I'm actually having a tough decision, him versus Palmer, when I'm also playing Mike Williams in that lineup. And I don't know which way to go, but I do know I'd play Greg Dortch over Jameson Williams. What are your thoughts, Truth?
I agree with that, and it's a really disgusting choice to have to make. It just brings me back to my whole, why are people so desperate right now? I mean, I get why they are. Everybody's on bye. It's just the second thing. It's seemed like such a great idea to have 17 games and 2 bye weeks, and now it's oh, this is actually a disaster. And there's people that are cobbling together teams at the last minute, and now you're having to make decisions between Dortch and Jameson Williams, that decide your season. I agree with your assessment of it. I feel for this dude.
Exactly. It is brutal. And there were some week 9. I don't know the exact weeks, but I remember week 8, week 9. There were weeks where there were only 2 teams on bye.
Yeah.
Why couldn't we load those up? We're all used to the bye week hell during those stretches. And NFL teams too. I don't think I'd want to buy this late in the season. I want that week to recuperate. Who knows? A whole nother conversation. But yeah, Dortch definitely has.
Let's not even talk about NFL. Right. Let's talk about fantasy. For fantasy purposes, what are you doing? You're killing us.
It's all we care about. And yeah, it's so true. Don't do this to us. We're so much revenue for your game and so much attention.
It's true.
Treat us with some respect, NFL. Jeez. But we got another super chat. Thank you so much, Sebastian. Always showing up with the support. It's so greatly appreciated. It's not unnoticed. But yeah, again, make sure Dortch is clear. I just want to end that question. Dortch for sure for me. D&D. I like Dortch this week quite a bit. Sebastian, thank you for your support.
Rolling it out. I see him sometimes on some of the evening shows, I'm pretty sure. Morning, fellas. Half point, start 1, wide receiver, flex 2. Mike Williams, Gallup, Juju, McKinnon, Homer, Chuba. And then we got a series of backslashes, Myers or McPherson at kicker. Love it. Love it. Because this is the time of year where you're literally trying to scrimp and save every single point. And so now you're stressing about a kicker and stuff. Who's going to get me that extra 1.5? I totally get it.
Right.
I got Nick Folk really in there, and I really like him.
I actually cut Nick Folk for Michael Badgley today.
Why?
So I love Badgley, and Folk got 4 last week. Fuck Folk. He
got 4 last week, but he got 17 the week before. The Patriots can't put it in the end zone.
It's been a tough experience with Folk. I don't know why, but Badgley's smile just spoke to me today.
Okay.
Sometimes there's nothing more than that, and I love that game in general. So I'm going there. Let's get to Sebastian's question, though. I agree 100%.
No, let's talk about our kickers for a while.
Yeah, and Sebastian.
Sebastian just posted. I had Folk last week, and he fucked me. So sorry to bring that up.
I'd rather have either of these guys than Folk too myself. So just to get the kicker.
Now you're making me a little nervous.
If McPherson or Myers out there, I'd rather have either of those.
I'm going to actually scour waivers while you're answering this question.
Yeah, I do. And I wouldn't be overly concerned with Folk. He is a good option, and Arizona's a bad defense. So
I'll be so mad.
I wouldn't feel horrible. But if Badgley's out there, ride him with me. Out of these guys, McPherson and Myers, I kind of want to go Evan McPherson. I think they're going to have no problem moving the ball. And I don't think the Seahawks will either. Myers has been really, really solid. I just like McPherson, the way he can boot it from any spot on the field. That's where I'm leaning myself. They're close, though. It's a kicker question. So the other part of that question for you, Sebastian, that's where the meat of this question is. I'll go Juju is my favorite option here. I know Broncos seem intimidating, but I heard this stat on the Fantasy Points podcast. Scott Barrett, one of my favorites to listen to. He was talking about how Denver is actually, the last 5 weeks, been the worst team against the slot, +10 points expected added to if you're the slot receiver against Denver. We know that's Juju. I know he's come along. He had that injury and it's been slow since then. He had 3 straight games at 20-plus points, though, really starting to click in the offense. And if they're this bad against the slot, I do like Juju a lot. So I'm going to go with him at the wide receiver spot. We just talked about Mike Willie and the upside he brings. You know me, I'm going after it. I got to chase that 20-point ceiling. I'm going for that shootout-style game. And I'm a big guy into Homer this week. I really, really like Homer. I talked about time being the endless loop. Thomas Rawls, that's how that name somehow came out of my ass today.
Yeah,
I'm a big fan of that game. And I like Travis Homer. I think the team likes him a lot. And I think he's going to be the Seahawks running back that ends up kind of just putting 20 points out of nowhere. And he's going to save seasons.
Awesome. Okay.
I hope so, man. I got to decide between him and Jeff Wilson. And I do like Jeff to rebound today. But I might go to Homer once. And of course, Homer, all this is to preface, like, we need to have Ken Walker out. I want nothing to do with Homer if Ken Walker's in. We want to make sure that's clear, even though he did have 14 points 2 weeks ago with Ken Walker in. He's a player. I like Homer. If Homer
but isn't it a 4:00 game? Isn't it going to be too late at that point? Like,
probably. Like,
right.
McKinnon would still be there to pivot to, and I honestly still probably rather have Homer, like a banged up Ken Walker. Or, like, I think Homer would still be pretty involved in that scenario.
Look, I have Mike Will and Homer in my lineup right now. And I'm looking at waivers right now while you're talking. I could make the Folk Badgley move right now. Should I do that on the air live? Bring Mike Badgley onto my fantasy team to decide.
Are we going to just rip him to shreds later tonight?
Yes.
It gives us some good fuel, whether we're praising him or hating him. We'll be together.
All right. Badgley is joining the Truths team right now. Nick Folk is being cut. Sebastian, you were part of the reason that I was convinced to make that move.
Hell yeah.
I'm doing it right now.
Let's go. All righty. Thank you guys so much for those super chats, Chris and Sebastian. Greatly appreciated. And reminder to everybody, that's a way to cut the line and, of course, support your boys. Help us with what we're doing here. It's a crazy week. We're going to do our best to make sure we get you those wins, get you into the playoffs, get you those buys, whatever it is you're fighting for. Almost 40 a year. Please do consider, if you haven't already, hit that thumbs up button. Help your boys out. If you can't support the super chat, that's fine. We get it. Freeway is that thumbs up button, though. It does truly get us out to more people and subs as we climb to 3K. We are so close.
I know we are. We're so close.
So close.
Let's do it.
Some other news we were just covering, so might as well just recap that again.
Yeah.
Greg Dortch was full on Friday. Rondale Moore is out. Hopkins is back. He had an illness, but he's going to be in. We know Marquise Brown is back. I do still like Greg Dortch. We highlighted the fact, again, 13, 15, 17, and 19 PPR points in his last 4 games without Rondale Moore. We do know Hopkins or Brown, one of the two, was out for those games. Those are obviously the 2 first smells, but I do think that slot role is very viable. Dortch is only 4% rostered right now. At minimum, I don't want my opponent playing Dortch against me. I think the guy's a player. Every time he's used, he steps up. He could be the guy you use to replace Jakobi Meyers. He's going to be out on Monday Night Football. Go from one slot weapon to the next. That's a good pivot, in my opinion, to go to Greg Dortch there. And then Steelers, we got Deontay Johnson. He had been listed as questionable. He had a random hip injury pop up, but he was removed from the injury report. It's probably nothing, but at the end of the day, nothing is also what he's giving you in fantasy. 5 for 60 these last few weeks is like his ceiling. Even though he's getting still like 13 targets a week, just nothing doing with him. The last guy, so Kadarius Toney, he was ruled out. Shocker at this point. Talk about fool's gold. My God.
Can we just stop getting excited about Kadarius Toney at some point?
I don't know. I don't know if I can. He's kind of like Martavis Bryant. Like, he's so good, but he'll just never be on the field. Bryant was obviously other reasons, not injuries. Bryant was everything else going on.
I mean, at some point, when he's out of the league, we can stop talking about him, I guess.
It's
although we're still talking about Martavis Bryant. He's been out of the league for like a couple. Isn't he in the XFL?
Gordon had like led the league in receiving for a year. Why are we falling for Toney? He hasn't done shit other than like 3 games where he looked amazing.
Jeff, what's his freaking Josh Gordon? I just called him Jeff Gordon. 8 years ago, I mean, he was the best receiver in the league. At least we can tell. Isn't Martavis Bryant in the XFL now?
He was in one of those leagues. I don't know if he's still doing it. Who knows? Last receiver for you, and this is one that, again, a lot of questions coming in on. Zay Jones, he's questionable. So we do want to make sure we get final confirmation on him. It did seem like he was trending towards in. We do know Trevor Lawrence is in, and we know Tennessee, the worst team against wide receivers the last 5 weeks on the year, the second most points allowed to the position. And like, just even going deeper into that, they're better against slot weapons. They're not great against the slot weapon. They're like middle of the pack, 16th, I believe they're ranked, but they're like the worst team in the league against outside receivers. So Zay Jones, No, he screwed a lot of people last week. I understand if you don't want to go to it. It's not a guy I'm like hammering the bell for. I don't love the player, but he saw 14 and 10.
But he has done a few things.
He really has. He's had these big spots at times. So if you're desperate, again, it's a desperation week. I really like him as a play. I mentioned Dortch as a play I like. I do like Zay Jones, but a guy that's out there in a lot of leagues still that I might like even more than any of them is DJ Chark. You know that we've always been Chark guys here.
We have. It's true.
We have. And in the past, it really hasn't bit us in the ass. Like, we weren't too in after he had that blow-up year. We didn't go too hard in on him because he was just going so crazy expensive. But again, Minnesota, I like that Minnesota Lions game. I think a lot of people do for DFS. But just in general, you want these shootout-style games. If you're going to that low of a player, like you're that desperate, go for the game that they're going to need firepower. They're going to need to chuck. He was solid last week, over 90 yards and 5 catches. He's been the clear-cut number 2. He played 84% of the snaps last game. So if I'm streaming somebody, if I'm desperate, I'd probably rank them DJ Chark, then Zay Jones, and then Greg Dortch. But I feel actually pretty good about all 3 of those options. Did any of those stand out to you as names, Truth? I mean, I know we're not the weeds here.
Yeah, I mean, I hear you. I might even like Zay Jones more than DJ Chark, if I'm being honest. But I feel like
it's fair.
I feel like I've been seduced a little bit by Zay Jones. I was so down on him for such a long time, and then he just produced and produced and produced, and I was like, oh, this guy. And then he obviously does nothing, and you were like, oh, right, that's why I've been down on Zay Jones for like 2 years. I would probably go Jones, Chark, and then Dortch, but I actually don't hate any of them.
Yeah, if you're desperate, those are the 3 names I would be looking to. I think that's totally fair too. Truth. I mean, Zay, again, 14 and 10 targets,
right,
2 weeks before last week's disappearance. He is top 20 in expected fantasy points among receivers on the year. Like, the guy's getting it done, and he's got a great matchup. A lot of that is also, to me, is Trevor Lawrence fully healthy. What if he gets pulled? Would Zay Jones become complete dust if the backup's in there? That's a little risk.
I mean, Trevor Lawrence, when he got taken down recently, like, it looked like his leg got like put in a wood chipper or something like that.
It looked bad.
Yeah, I can't believe we're even talking about him being full strength or otherwise. I was like, oh yeah, he's done for the year. His career might be over.
That was nasty. And then he popped right back in. It's crazy.
Yes.
That's all our receiver notes, folks. So let's keep
talk tight ends.
Let's wrap up tight ends. You find where we are on the
Yeah, I'm there. Cameron Brate, we got illness. He's not on Tampa Bay's final injury report, so I guess we can count on a full strength Cameron Brate if anybody's throwing any parties over that, right?
Yeah, seismic fantasy force. I guess the only reason that's really on here, a lot of these notes at the time, Akeda Otten was the number 1 scoring tight end last week, and he had 28 yards and a touchdown. This goes to tell you everything you need to know about the tight end position.
About the tight end position as a whole.
Exactly. Right? But that just makes Akeda Otten himself a little bit riskier again after being the number 1 tight end. Tough to trust him because Cameron Brate now back. Hayden Hurst is out this week, so you might need a desperation streamer. My guy this week, and a lot of people talked about him, Adam Kofler on Twitter. Me and him interact a lot, and I like this take by him a lot. We talked about it too on the Thursday show. Chigawame Okonkwo. I probably butchered the name, and I apologize if so. We'd still love to have you.
99% sure you butchered the name.
I'm very confident I did not get that right. But I am confident that he could be that blow-up tight end you need this week. He's been making huge plays for 5 straight weeks. He's topped 30 yards. And again, what bar are we setting? But 30 yards at tight end is honestly hard to come by this year. We know that Treylon Burks is out. They're going to need some sort of explosive weapon. And he's had huge plays. He's averaging over 3.5 yards per reception. That's number 1 at tight end and per route run, rather. So yards per route run. Over reception, it's almost over 13 yards. So like any efficiency metric, the guy is crushing it. It's been low volume. I understand that. But I do think he brings some explosive upside to your tight end position. Certainly at 2,700 on DraftKings, worth talking about. What do we got there? Jeff Lee with a super sticker.
I know. What a monster.
Oh, man. Oh, and $50. My God. I didn't even see the money attached. I thought it said $5 at first.
No. 10 times that.
What an absolute legend, showing out for the boys with the fantasy playoffs here and on the line. My guy, that's so greatly appreciated. We'll definitely keep our eyes peeled. I don't know if I saw a Jeff Lee question in there.
There wasn't a question, but he knows that he can always he reserves the right to pop up to the top of the stack anytime he feels like it.
Absolutely. So yeah, thank you so much, Jeff Lee, for that. That is greatly, greatly appreciated. The last note.
Last one is David Njoku. He's playing, so he's a tight end 1. We've already talked about it's a low bar to be a tight end 1 these days, but he's 1, definitely.
Absolutely.
Also, Jeremiah, and we appreciate this also. Start 2, Alec Pierce, Josh Palmer, Jeff Wilson, P. Ryan, or McKinnon.
I'm guessing the Pierce is Dameon Pierce, too, if I know Jeremiah's team.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Yeah, you know his team. It's Dameon Pierce. My bad.
So, a P. Ryan I can't do as good as he's been once you have Mixon back. Once Mixon's back, it becomes a much messier situation. So, I think he'll play second fiddle. I can't go there because you have some other good options. I also don't really want to go with McKinnon. I know he scored last week, but it comes down to the first 3, Dameon Pierce, Jeff Wilson, and Palmer for me. And I'm probably benching in half PPR. I think I'm going to bench Palmer. I'm just worried. Like, I know last time Mike Williams returned and Palmer had his best game of the year. So there's certainly upside to playing Palmer today. I do like Jeff Wilson to bounce back big time against the Chargers. Really bad run D. Mike McDaniels has talked a lot about how he regrets not getting Wilson more touches, more involved. He was a top 10 running back for quite some time. So I'm a big fan of Jeff Wilson bouncing back today. And Dameon Pierce, there's just no other weapons there. So maybe they elevate his receiving role. They also might just not move the ball at all against the tight Cowboys. So there's the risk with him. But I'm going to go Wilson and Pierce. What about you, Truth?
Well, since we're talking about Dameon Pierce and not Alec Pierce, as I ridiculously said before, I agree with you.
All right, perfect.
And also, Jeff did send a question earlier, so I'm going to just do him the service of answering them that right now. Right. Half point PPR, running backs. I'm starting Jamal Williams and Jeff Wilson Jr. Should I start Rachaad White or Samaje Perine in the third running back spot, or do I go with 3 wide receivers, CeeDee Lamb, Donovan Peoples-Jones, and Gabe Davis, and start Jamal? And I think that's Jeff Wilson is what he means to put there.
Okay.
JWR.
I'm trying to. Oh, there it is. Okay, I found where you clicked it.
Yep.
So that's why we couldn't find you, Jeff. The new profile picture going on in there. I would not play either of those running backs above the 2 you have in. And of these receivers, so the question is like Rachaad White get in. I'd play CD, obviously, no questions there. And then I think I'm locking in Gabe, and I don't love it, but like when you're getting to this, like there's a low floor for really all these options. I'd rather put the one in that has like the 25, 30-point ceiling. And then we need
also the one that has Josh Allen throwing to him instead of Deshaun Watson, who looks like he hasn't played football in 2 years.
No, he hasn't. Yes, exactly.
Well, right. That's kind of my point.
So to me, it comes down to, for that last spot, is Rachaad White versus DPJ. It's tricky because Fournette's in. Fournette actually played more snaps last game. I know. I do think White earned himself more snaps with that winning touchdown. I love White. I think he's a good player. I do think at this point, I'd probably go DPJ, though. We know Cooper's banged up. I think since he's going to put a beating on Cleveland, so they're going to need a Chuck. And DPJ's been better on the road than he's been at home. So I think for me, I'm going the 2 running backs you have, and then I'm going the 3 receivers and benching both White and Perine. But if you could talk me into White over DPJ, if anybody had strong opinions,
that's the only question. I'd say everything else you're saying, I agree with completely, and I actually agree with that also. But that's the only one where you kind of give pause and you say, White, DPJ, that's kind of tough. But I think I agree with you overall as far as that goes. Jeff, also, I'm just scrolling through to make sure since he gave us $50,
thank you again, Jeff. So
service all of his needs. And Cameron Dicker, Michael Badgley, his other question. Okay, obviously, just because of his name, you kind of probably lean Dicker. But I don't know. We're a Badgley podcast now.
But we were a Dicker podcast earlier.
We were a Dicker podcast.
He's given us minimal reason to go away from that. But Jeff, I guess the only advantage to going Badgley is you'd now be riding with me in Truth, and we can
the only advantage.
Sing his praises together, or we can cry and comfort each other in our times of need too. It'll be one or the other. We'll find out. I'm going Badge. Let's go. Let's just ride the Badge train, baby.
Let's do it.
Let's go.
I'm in. And thanks again for that super chat. That was awesome.
So appreciative, Jeff. And you've thrown us 50 another time this year.
Yeah, it's not the first time, dude.
You're a legend, Jeff. Thank you so much. And if you don't have $50 to give us, that's okay, Wolfpack. So it doesn't have to happen. But that thumbs up button, a nice free way to support your boys.
Yeah.
To get us that sub button as well as we approach 3K. And one way we could get close to $50 is if you sign up for either of our sponsors here, Prize Picks or Underdog, both of our favorite places to play. Before we hit all of your questions, just want to emphasize those are two incredible apps, two incredible websites as well. Prize Picks and Underdog. You can do player props over on Prize Picks. You can do snake drafts on Underdog. They do give us a very solid kickback for everyone. We get to sign up using code RSJ. So if you don't have the money to help us out, that's fine. But they match up to $100 on both sites with code RSJ at over Prize Picks, over at Underdog. So check out both of those again, Underdog and Prize Picks, code RSJ. I don't know, CJ, if you're live tuned in here, I know he's having some very big technical issues, but if you can get Prize Picks and Underdog links into the chat, into the description, so we can one more time.
CJ is supposed to be here and he's having technical issues.
His computer is like completely mushed. I have no idea what happened or what he did. But he sent me a picture of his screen that's just, it looks disgusting. So either way, check out if CJ can from afar, whether it's on his phone or whatnot, put in the Underdog and Prize Picks into the description, into the chat, as well as the call-in button, because I know a few of you guys do love that call-in. I'm going to put the call-in in, but it always has a weird like lack of space when I put it in there. But I know a lot of you guys do want to call in, and then we will be on to all of your questions.
Since we're talking about call-ins, can we just circle back for a second to David Campanelli being at a brunch? Do you know how many brunches my son has been to in his life? 0.
Yeah.
And he's 7.
Yeah, Campanelli from afar. He'll probably rewatch this too, watch the tape. We're coming at you hard, Campanelli. Brunch over the RSJ boys.
Also, by the way, Campanelli asked me who I was mushing, and we were at soccer last time I was on, which was like a week ago, and I said the United States, and my mush streak remains alive. I just
America like hater truth over here.
Yeah, my patriotism was questioned by the Wolf on that episode, but it was accurate.
It wasn't wrong. I'll tell you that much. Alrighty, Wolfpack. Well, thanks again so much. So many generous super chats already tossed our way as we hope to fight you into the playoffs. Again, we know it's going to be ugly. We'll try our best not to laugh at your questions, Wolfpack. But again, thumbs up button. Does so greatly appreciate it. And if you want to cut the line, the call-in comment is now in there as well as the super chat, as always.
Are you all the way at the top on comments here?
Yes. This is at 8:54 a.m. Do you not see this one?
8:50. No, I guess my comments start at like 9:52.
All right, so I'll pull up the comments till we get there.
You got a full hour before anything I see.
I love it. The people camping out outside of the RSJ live stream in their tents, waiting to get their questions in. Juan Pena's a legend of the show. He's been here for many years, so he knows the deal. Wide receiver 1 and 2, Mike Williams. I think we're going to get a lot of Mike Williams questions today, and my answer is often going to be play him. Mike Williams, Judy, Thielen, Deontay, DJ Chark, Boyd, or Zay Jones.
Okay, who's your second guy?
This is a tough one. So I'm going Mike. Yeah, we talked enough about how I like that shootout, wanted to blow up. I like a lot of these options. I'll tell you what, I don't hate Judy, and I don't typically like never going to the Broncos, but no Sutton. They're going to clearly need to chase points. Last week, he only played 10 snaps, and he had 60 yards. Like, he's looked really good whenever Judy's played. I know it's been a lot of if or whatnot. I think I'm going to Judy here. If not, like we talked about, I like Zay Jones and Chark a lot as streams. I personally go Chark. So if you don't want to trust Russell Wilson, you don't want to trust the risk of Mike Williams, Chark would be my next one up. But me personally, I'm going Mike and Judy. What about you?
In this group, you absolutely have to go Mike, and obviously there's risk level there. You know how I feel about him. I would absolutely roll him out in this group. I hear what you're saying about Judy. The Broncos are averaging 13 points a game, I think.
It's hideous. It might be less than that at this point. It's so bad.
But I think they're last in the NFL. So it's too hard. It's hard for me to feel too good about anyone on their team. I'm sure as soon as I say that, they're gonna Judy's gonna have 200 yards receiving. No, but you know what? Even saying that sounds stupid.
Yeah,
no, we're not doing that. Go for whatever whoever the Wolves pick between Chark and Jones is. I would say over Judy. That's my opinion.
It's sad too that like Deontay Johnson last year would be like, don't put him in this question. Like, that's stupid. He's like 3.
Right. He's getting 16 targets a game. Of course, Deontay Johnson. Now we're like, I don't know.
DJ Chark ahead of him. Like, I got to make sure I have Johnson down in my rankings. If this is what I'm going to say on air,
you are absolutely taking a steaming dump on this guy. You need to make sure that he's not ranked above any of these people.
He is above Chark in my rankings.
Well, I mean, how do you feel about that?
I don't know. I have a hard time. I do, and I have Zay Jones above Chark now. I'm looking at my rankings here.
Well, I said Zay over Chark. I personally like him over Chark. I know you have said you don't, but do you like them both over Deontay? Be honest.
I honestly think
because people are asking the questions.
I really don't like Deontay this week. What's the reason we would want to keep going back to him? Targets. Eventually, we don't play in volume-based leagues, which would be kind of fun. Just like switch it up and do like target.
It's like, oh yeah, he's targeted 20 times a game.
Carries you get points for, but not yards and stuff. I mean, that would actually be kind of fun.
I played in a league that had settings like that once. It was so stupid.
Did you actually just usage purely?
I didn't set it up. It was some random guy in town did it, and it was like passing attempts. Like there's like you get points for everything. So like the final score games was like 450 to like 435. It was really dumb.
Insanity. I think I do go Judy. I feel pretty good about Judy and Mike. Like I will say that I have both those guys above the others anyways. So like then I don't have to worry about do I have Deontay ahead or below Chark like that.
So Judy's your guy.
I'm going to go Judy here. I know the risk, but with no Sutton, they're going to need points, and I don't think they're going to get the points very often, but at least they'll be going to the air. So, yeah, I'm going to go Judy and Mike. We haven't even talked about the fact that Thielen does play Detroit. Like, if you're ever going to
I mean, Thielen, I was going to say I was a little surprised how quickly you glossed over Thielen, but I hear you also.
The tough part is, like, these guys are all in the same tier for me, other than Mike, who I do have a tier above them, 2 tiers. Actually, no, just 1 tier. But I have, like, Judy 32, Thielen 33, Zay Jones 35, DJ Chark 38. Like those are all guys in the same tier, in the same ranking spots. So I have a tough time with all this. Zay Jones is officially active, by the way. That just came in. Saquon Barkley also officially active. So we don't need to worry about Matt Breida today, thank God. Yes. So I'm going to go Mike and Judy, though, just to wrap up the first question of the day at 8 o'clock.
Take 10 minutes on that one.
Yes.
We saw Tunes briefly in the video chat, but then he disappeared. Juan also wants to know who for my flex: Jamal Williams, James Conner, Mike Williams, Noah Fant, Boyd, or DJ Chark. Who do you like?
I mean, the last half of this question is not even
right. I mean, some of those guys don't belong in the same category.
No,
I mean,
it's Jamal or James.
Jamal Williams scores. He scored like 1 million touchdowns this year. It would be hard for me not to go for Jamal Williams, if I'm being honest.
A game with a lot of points on the line. Yeah, I like Jamal a lot, but James Conner has started to turn this year around quite a bit. The Patriots are also the second hardest matchup, though, for backs. 49ers, the only more difficult team. Conner can hurt you in a lot of ways, too, though. He catches the ball.
Let me ask you a question. Do you think Jamal Williams is going to punch one in, at least one today?
I probably, yes. I'd say yes.
I think I would have to go with the guy. If you get burned, you get burned, but it's like he scores too often to not play him.
The thing is, if he doesn't score, he's going to get you 0. Like he's going to have like 2.5. Swift. I mean,
that's exactly what Mike Williams is going to do for you.
Right. Yeah. Swift got 2 carries in the goal line last week too. So it wasn't like complete and utter Jamal Williams territory. Swift had his, over 50% of the snaps for the first time all year. So the fact that Swift was a little more involved makes it a little more likely Jamal just completely.
So who's your pick?
On you. So I actually am going to go James Conner. I think, at the end of the day, he has not quite the touchdown ceiling of Jamal Williams, but not too far off. And he'll at least have some yards and receptions to at least buoy that. We might not get anything else from there. All right.
That's fair. I'm sticking with Jamal.
What's going on, Steve? Welcome to the show, brother.
Let's go, boys.
Let's go. How are we, my man?
I'm doing well, man. I figured, listen, I posted a question to you earlier, but I figured it'd be good for your peoples out there that might have the same situation that I had. Christian Kirk going against a soft Tennessee wide receiver secondary, or I had D. Hopkins going against a tough New England D. I want to hear what you have to say. I know what you had to say to me, but listen, other people might be facing the same situation I'm in. So I got to say, I love y'all. Good luck.
Thanks for the call, Steve. Awesome stuff.
Baby.
Good question.
It was goal 2 today, baby. Screw that, underdogs 10-2. Screw that now. What the hell? Dirty.
Underdogs to the Lions at 10-2. Who would have ever thought?
The disrespect. All right, I'll listen in, boys. Have fun.
All right, cheers, buddy. Steve. Thanks so much for the call.
It is true. I do want to just tack on what Steve just said. Has there ever been a team taken less seriously that's 10-2 in the history of the NFL? I can't even think of anybody.
It is genuine disrespect, and I don't know that they deserve it. I think the Vikings are much better than they shouldn't be underdogs.
They've won a lot of one-score games. I mean, which is like that's one data point, but the other data point is that they have won those games. They're winning close games. That is a certain skill set. And I mean, several weeks ago, I was kind of like, I don't believe in the Vikings. And it's like they keep winning the same games. And eventually you just have to say to yourself, all right, well, they have to be like at least semi taken
Right.
seriously. This is going to be my last question, and then I have to take off.
Okay, no
but
worries.
It's been awesome hopping on with you.
Yeah, good to have Truth for a surprise appearance on the Sunday show. Love to see it. Maybe
All
CJ will tag team in.
I know. Bring it on,
throughout.
CJ. I don't give a what the hell's wrong with your computer. Aren't you our tech guy?
But yeah, so what do you think of Hopkins versus Kirk? So obviously the matchups with Kirk, I'm under the camp of you don't bench Hopkins. I know New England's
that's 100% the camp that I'm in. I get the matchup and everything, but it's like I don't feel like there's a team that I can think of that I haven't seen Hopkins torch at some point.
Yeah, exactly. He's just too damn good. And New England, as New England fans, like, no, they're okay as a defense. They are pretty good. They can get after the passer. I think they'll get after Murray, but still, it's Hopkins. Like, D-Hop is just D-Hop. If your gut truly says, like, Kirk is the guy today, we know he has 20-point ceilings. We know the matchup's right for him. But
he does. But how bad are you going to be kicking yourself when you see Hopkins just, like, hauling in these balls? I mean, I'm not losing with Hopkins sitting on my bench.
Right. Exactly.
I'm not. I can't abide by that.
Yeah,
so anyway,
I'm with you.
Anyway, RSJ followers, it was awesome jumping in. I never get to get on these Sunday morning shows, but it was great. Sorry I haven't been on the last couple times. Maybe we could do a recap tonight if you're available. Text me. Let me know how you're feeling.
I think I should be good to go tonight. Yeah, I'd like to do a recap. So yeah, that sounds good.
I'll let you know if I made the playoffs. What we can talk about. We could spend at least 10 minutes on Badgley.
Yeah, right. We have to do a recap because to recap how Badgley goes today.
Right, and Homer, Mike Williams. There's a lot to talk about.
We have a lot to talk about, yeah. And we have a good game tonight, too. So we'll catch me and the Truth. We'll be back live together tonight, 7:30-ish. We'll see what time Red Zone comes off, but we will be live then. I love it, Truth. Cheers.
Right.
Good luck today. Let's go. Our guys come through. Let's go.
Later.
Cheers. All righty. And then we left off again at 8 o'clock. So we'll start picking up the pace here with the questions, Wolfpack. Final tight end spot, Knox, Noah Fant, or Henry. I actually really like Hunter Henry this week facing Arizona, the best matchup for tight ends. CJ, if you're tuned in there, get your ass back in here. We have Truth tag teamed out. You can tag team in. Maybe Campanelli can text you and let you know. The call-in line is open, though. It's in the comments. And again, let's go. Super chats always. We'll get preference. If we got a moderator that wants to come in and monitor that, would be so helpful because anything under $5 does not pop up right away for me. And I do want to make sure we continue to get those $2 ones preference. But Aiden, until the meantime, Aiden, good morning, gents. Happy Sunday. Do I start Duvernay or Hinton at wide receiver 3? Okonkwo or Henry at tight end? Do I bench Fournette or start two of them? All righty. I go, that's a tough wide receiver 3. It's ugly. I would say, again, is Dortch there? Obviously, Chark and Zay Jones are the first two looks. And then Dortch is only 4% rostered. Like, if he's there, Aiden, I prefer Dortch over either of those two guys. If none of those three are there, through my 3 favorite streamers, again, Zay Jones, Chark, and then Dortch as the more available one. If he's not there, I have to go one of these shitheads. I probably go Duvernay. Just I like Huntley more than I like Russell Wilson, which is so nuts to say. I don't know. I mean, Hinton does play well. It's a dice roll, though. We've seen Duvernay have some blow-up spots. Like, I'd go there and just hope for a bomb or hope for a kick return touchdown. Okonkwo or Henry at tight end, as much as I do like Okonkwo as a blow-up potential, the matchup for Henry plus no Jakobi Meyers, I'm definitely going Hunter Henry. And then do I bench Fournette to start two of them? No. I mean, this is trash. So, no, I would not bench him. We do got Campanelli coming from the clouds. What's going on, brother? How are we today?
I'm all right. How you guys doing? I'm being dad today.
I know. Truth was just on live with me, and he was ripping you to shreds. So you'll have to watch the footage and come at Truth later tonight.
I'll get him later. But so quick question. Even though Saquon is active and cleared to play, do we see Breida get more action?
I think we do. Is it anything that makes him fantasy viable? No. Is there anything that makes me feel worse about Saquon? No, not really. I mean, maybe I'd put Joe Mixon ahead of Saquon now, but he's still my running back 10 at this point. So I'm not trusting Breida, and I'm not benching Saquon if he's gotten me to this point. If he's active, playoffs on the line type of game for the Giants today, as you know, I'm not benching Saquon, and I don't think they're going to bench Saquon either.
Perfect. Thanks, Wolf. Remember, like, comment, subscribe. I'll get
good to see you, Campanelli. Glad you kept the streak going, baby. Cheers. You too. All righty. We left off then with Jeff Wilson's question, which I know we already hit for you, Jeff, but thanks again so much. A $50 super chat. I mean, that's so generous and so greatly appreciated, brother. You're the man. Good morning, Bulldog. Great to see you. Fournette is in. So Cook over White. Whew. Bulldog, that's a tough one. Honestly, man, I love what I've seen of White, but worst matchup, split backfield. Like, what if James Cook took over that backfield? I do think Singletary is going to be the first man in. He's going to start the game, but if he has another drop, this could go completely turned over to James Cook. Gun to my head, I kind of like Cook. You know White's going to be the starter, though. He's going to be involved as a receiver, a little bit of range, so they might have more short game. I have White like 2 spots higher. If your gut's like, I'm really feeling Cook, you can certainly do it today. It's justifiable. But me personally, I go White. Nicola, good to see you. Tough day for the Crusaders yesterday, unfortunately, huh? White or Foreman? I'm definitely going Foreman. Love the spot. Second most points allowed to backs. Seattle. Foreman in the right scripts has smashed. And I think the Seahawks win, but I don't think they'll run away to the point that Foreman's no longer viable. So I like Foreman today. And then Ayuk or Hollywood, I'm going to go Hollywood. I'm going to go with the quarterback here. Both deep threats. Let me go with Kyler over Purdy at that point. Purdy did say he's going to force feed Ayuk and Debo today, so we'll see if he can get the wide receivers the ball. But Tampa Bay's no joke. Neither is New England. I go with the talent at quarterback there. Half PPR. Pickens or DPJ. I'm going to go Pickens. I feel pretty good about Pickens. Baltimore, they've been better, but certainly nothing special. Oh, decided to show up. What's going on, CJ?
Hey, I thought Truth took my spot.
He did. You were late. You were delayed, and Truth was like, hey, I'm free. Do you want me to pop in? Like, yeah, sure. Come on in. But now he had to tag out. So welcome. Pretty good time, and we only missed a few questions solo there. Where have you been?
I was in Beverly for the weekend, and then I came home, and now I saw Truth was on, so I was like, oh, I have the day off. I'm gonna relax.
No days off.
And then Campanelli texted me, said he wanted me on, so of course I was gonna jump on.
Hey, get on in here. The computer is finally working for you?
Yeah, I'm good now.
All righty, perfect.
I do feel delayed. Am I delayed?
A little bit. You might want to leave and come back. And then if it's still brutal, I might just go solo. Your audio comes in, but your mouth's not matched up with it.
All right, one sec.
All righty. Cheers. Let me remove CJ, the delay, and he'll be back. Lucio, Ranelli, Happy PR, need one flex. Pierce, White, Pickens. Ooh, it's a tough one, Lucio. I do really like Pickens today, but obviously we saw the risk last week where it just disappeared on me. So I think I'm going to go Damian Pierce and just ride for some volume and hope they don't get destroyed completely, which they probably will. It's risky. Pierce is tough today. I dropped P. Ryan. I picked up James Cook. Should I get rid of Cook to pick up Madison? I'm thinking that Cook might be better to stash. These are all good stashes. I really like all three. The one that's going to separate without an injury could be Cook. Cook has both James Cook, that is. He has both the potential that Singletary goes down and now he's elevated, or he just significantly outplays him and becomes that lead guy for the stretch. So of these three, I do think I like James Cook the most. That being said, we know what P. Ryan and Madison are top 7 running backs when the other two guys are out. So they also make a lot of sense. But I'd go right with Cook just because there's more outs to him becoming that lead back. Brunel Jacobs, good to see a regular of the show these days, which is so appreciated. Good to see some new faces become regulars. You love to see that. I obviously love all you regulars too, though. I'm not trying to hate on you. You're the lifeblood. That's why we've still been here so far. Travis Homer or Gabe Davis at flex, full PPR. Ooh, that's a good one. James Cook or Zonovan Knight. So I'm leaning Zonovan Knight over James Cook. We've just seen it done. We know the volume will be there. Even with Mike Carter back, I feel pretty good about Zonovan still. The Davis versus Homer is tough because anything against Davis is like, if he has the 30-point day, I lost you your week. Sorry about it. Homer, though, I just like. My gut is really feeling Homer. The obvious risk is like Ken Walker comes in and is actually playing today, and then Homer's nothing. But I think I'm going to go Homer. It's time's an endless loop. Seahawks backs always go off at this point of the year, so I'm leaning Homer. I know last week of the regular season, but Chris, that should be a let's fucking go face, not a sad face. We got the playoffs, the best time of the year, the most exciting point of the fantasy season. DJ Johnson, Beverly, good to see you. Jamal Williams, Ayuk, Jeff Wilson. I'm leaning Jamal there. I do think Jeff rebounds big, but a little bit. It's my 18 and 19. Actually, I looked at my rank is closer than I thought it would be, but I'm leaning Jamal just slightly a better floor in my opinion. Just every week a touchdown. Ingram or Okonkwo. I like Okonkwo at that point. Let's go for the Hail Mary, the big play upside. Patrick Sullivan, half-point PPR at running back. Harris or Knight. I like Najee today. Baltimore's pretty good against running backs, but Najee's definitely looked better these last few weeks. You know he's going to be a volume monster. Knight has a little bit more risk with like Carter back. What if it does become a three-headed gross situation? Half PPR, tight end, Andrew or Schultz. I got to go Andrew. I know he has not looked fully healthy since coming back from injury, but this could be the rebound. Huntley loved feeding him last year, so I'm going to go Mark. Need to win to have a chance to make playoffs. Barkley, Etienne, Homer, Zeke, Knight, Wilson, DPJ. I'm going to go with the first two. Barkley and Etienne, I'm going to trust talent. I'm going to ride them out. I mean, the one thing, actually, you know what? I could see Zeke over Etienne because Tennessee's a great run D. Zeke, is getting a touchdown and probably 70 yards. Like, that's a nice baked-in floor. So give me Barkley and give me Zeke for that one, Tunes. Taco, a.k.a. Snoopy, Slayton, Dortch, Tony Jones Jr., Matt Breida for flex. I like Slayton. He's been solid. Good Eagles D, but they just huck big plays to him. So give me Slayton. He's been solid. Receiver 3 and 2 flex. Judy, Pickens, Palmer, Okonkwo, Dobbins. I'm going to go to 3 receivers there, Tunes. Okonkwo and Dobbins just too big of risks to bench any of those 3 pretty good options at receiver. Flex, Z Knight, D Schultz, Juju, Gabe Davis. I'm going to go Juju. Like we mentioned, good matchup for slot receivers against Denver these last 5 weeks. Been the best matchup for slot receivers. So he's the clear slot for them. I like the spot. Ayuk, Zay Jones, Corey Davis. I'm going to go Ayuk there. Just happy, even with some more risk. Homer, Zay Jones, Rashad White, Corey Davis, flex PPR pick 1. I like Homer this week. I do. I could obviously blow up in our faces, and I'm sure you guys will be out with the pitchforks tonight at our recap show, 7:30, if Homer busts. But I'm a fan. I'm playing him. I have a running back 23 today. I might even bump him above Pacheco. I like Homer. I do. Smash thumbs up. Let's go. Thank you, Jeff Lee. Almost 40. You can hear that thumbs up button does truly help, regardless of where you're at, YouTube, Facebook, the like button on Twitter. It is so greatly appreciated, Wolfpack. Laura and Jim Cooperman. Need 2. I need to know, is it Laura or is it Jim? Is it both tuned in together? Let me know. What do you got here for Laura and Jim? Need 2 receivers, 1 flex. DeAndre, DJ Chark, Ayuk, or Foreman. I'm locking in Foreman for that flex spot, and I'm going to bench DeAndre Carter. Mike Williams back. It's definitely less likely that Carter even sees the field, assuming Mike Williams stays healthy. If Barkley doesn't play, he is in Giuseppe, so we don't need to worry about it, but it would be Homer over White for me. I'm going to go Freiermuth over Everett, Giuseppe, especially with Mike Will back. Never thought I would ask this in my life. My boy Homer with my Hawks. Mike Evans. Whoo, he has been crapping himself, Apex. Here's the deal. You already prefaced this with the way you want to go, and that's Travis Homer. It's your Hawks. He's your boy. You want me to say him. And I don't know that Mike Evans has justified like a clear cut. I'm Mike Evans. You play me no matter what this year. Brady last week said Godwin is the clear number 1. He's a better receiver, at least according to who was it that said that? Troy Aikman on the broadcast was like, yeah, Brady told us Godwin's the clear number 1. And obviously the stats have borne that out too. You can go Homer. You can. Obviously, bigger risk. Like Mike Evans is Mike Evans. Could you be sitting here like kicking yourself? Like I left 30 points on my bench for Travis fucking Homer. We know that could play out this way. But you know which way you want to go. And I'll tell you this, it's not unjustifiable. If I'm in your shoes, I probably am going Evans. But if you have that rooting interest for your Hawks, he's your boy, you like the player, the gap is not wide enough that I can tell you confidently you have to go Evans. I will not push you in that direction, Apex. If you want to go him, you can go him. I love Homer today. I really feel it. I don't know if I love him enough to bench Evans, but I do like Travis Homer a lot. You've seen your Seahawks running backs. It happens every year. Homer's the next one. I don't like Tony Jones at all. Fuck Tony Jones. Singletary, Homer, or Breida. If Barkley doesn't go, I'm going Singletary. I mean, I'm going Homer rather. I like Homer. I'm going Barkley, but if you need another one, it would be Homer for me. Truth in the house for a power week 14. Hell yeah, Jeff Lee. Our guy had to show up for the fans like you that need their truth in their lives. He's back. And we'll be back for our recap tonight, 7:30 tonight. Am I crazy for starting Dulcich over Schultz and Zay Jones over Gabe Slayton? Not crazy, no to. I feel pretty good about Schultz over Dulcich just because like Dulcich is boom and bust. It's Broncos. Could he boom? Sure. We saw it last week, but I fucking hate Greg. Like I not even hate Greg. I hate Russell Wilson. I hate having Broncos on my team. I'm going to go Schultz. Schultz is far more stable, plus even higher ceiling. Schultz is just the better play. I'm going Schultz. So, yes, you're crazy for that one. Zay Jones over Gabe and Slayton, not crazy. Great matchup, 14 and 10 targets. He can get it done, and T-Law's in. I go Gabe, though. If I'm that low, I'd rather have the big ceiling, the big ceiling. And I guess Zay does have the ceiling, but I don't know. I don't feel great about it. Mike Duty, Barkley owners, let's go. He's in. So, yes, you guys get him in there, and he's obviously Barkley. You can't bench him. Pick 2, flex PPR. Gallup, Hollywood Brown, James Cook, or Breida if Barkley does not go. I'm going to go Hollywood Brown, and Barkley's going, so we don't have to worry about it. Standard league, 1 running back, or 2 running backs, 1 flex. Stevenson locked. Foreman, I'm going to put Foreman in my rankings above Damian. I feel better about it. So Foreman's up to running back 19, Damian Pierce down to running back 20, below Jeff Wilson as well. I'm going Stevenson, Foreman as the 2 running backs. I'd go Evans for the flex, but I don't love it. But I just don't like Pierce much this week. I'm Ryan Williams, 2 Truth. There we go. Duty answering it. He likes Jamal. Happy PR sit 2. I'm sitting White and Pierce. I'm going to go to the 2 receivers, Juju and Kirk there, Frank Bullitt. Geno or Goff? Oh, man. I'm going to go Geno. I like Goff a lot this week too, but Geno has just been cooking. The running back injuries mean he might have to throw more often this week, Joseph. So I'm going to go Geno. Need a win to get into the playoffs. Tua or Herbert in this fun Sunday night football game. My 5 and 6. I love the game tonight. It's going to be a good one. With the full stacked cast now, Mike Williams ideally in the whole game with Keenan. We haven't seen this yet. I'm going to go Herbert. It's not a great secondary. Obviously, they got some nice players individually. Xavier Howard. But I'm going to go the Herbert side. Yeah. So, Sebastian, thank you so much for the share. Thank you, Giuseppe. Like and share, people. Indeed, it goes such a long way. Wolfpack. Michael Carrion. Godfather, sounds like. Etienne, Jamal, Bam White, Jay Cook. Bam is probably then Rashad White, too. So, a lot of same tier guys. Etienne's the one I have above all these guys. And I'd ride Jamal and hope for the touchdown. You guys are great. Need to win and get in for 2 weeks. Let's go. No pressure, Giuseppe. Yeah. Good luck, brother. Let's hope we get it done for you. At the end of the day, always trust your gut, though. You guys can come and shit on us and say, you got it wrong. You're still the guys doing the final click, though. And I know you would never do that anyways, Giuseppe. You're not that type of guy. But at the end of the day, I'll let you know when it's one I really feel strongly about. But you guys make your final decisions. Dicker or Badgley, as we already talked about, Jeff Lee. We're going Badgley today, baby. Sebastian pushing you to do it. Let's go. Let's go indeed, Sebastian. Josh Campa, full PPR, pick 2, Herbert, Geno, or Murray. Ooh, so super flex, loaded quarterback room. I think I benched Kyler there. It's risky, but yeah, Geno's got a safe baked-in floor. Fat Golf R. Super flex spot. Should I play Mike White or Sam Darnold? I'm going to go Mike White there. The answer is very rarely Sam Darnold, even though he looked okay last week. I like Mike. 330 plus yards in both games. Have PPR start 2. Etienne, Swift, Jamal, Jeff. You got great backs, Sarah. I'm going to go with the first 2, Swift and Etienne. I like the role I saw from Swift last week. Even though I am feeling that Jeff Wilson rebound, those are the 2 I feature. So, yeah, we got the call-in line. It's in there, Tunes, if you find the link. Woke up earlier, made the move from Myers to Badgley too. Hell yeah, let's go. Charlie, we are riding the kicker together, baby. We're all going to be having a praise circle or a just shit on circle tonight at 7:30, whether it's Badgley earns us or not, or it's just going to be like 8 points. And we're like, I guess he did okay for us. But we want 19 Badge. Come on, baby. Giuseppe, we already hit that. Jeremiah, we already hit that. White, Zay, or Corey Davis. Barkley's playing, so we don't have to worry about it. But I would have gone probably Zay. T. Higgins or Joe Mixon at flex. I'm going to go Joe Mixon. Great matchup for the run D, and I could see Higgins being better this week. Full PPR, choose a flex. Third time's a charm.
I think I'm good now.
Yeah, no delay. You're much better now.
All right, perfect.
So we're on Mini Jordan at 11:23 in the questions here. We got P. Ryan, Bam Knight, and Homer. We got to choose a flex. I'm leaning Bam over Homer, but I'm interested to know your thoughts on Travis Homer.
Say,
CJ.
that's actually a really good question.
We've gotten a ton of Homer questions, and most of the time my stance is I like Homer. I do. It's like weirdly that I'm playing like the futures and the pasts of us, but like Seahawk running backs in week 14, it's Rashad Penny, it's Carlos Hyde, it's Thomas Rawls. Like this happens every fucking year. A random Seahawks running back just goes off, and it's a crucial fantasy move whether you play him or not.
Especially
so
with Mike Carter back. Mike Carter's going to steal some of the passing situations. I think I'd go Homer too myself.
Yeah, I'm going to adjust the ranks one more time. It was my running back 21 and 22. I'm putting Homer above Zonovan here. And I'm a Zonovan guy. I really like Zonovan.
Yeah, me too. I just was betting his prize picks earlier. He's only at like 42 rushing yards.
I mean, that's pretty good. That's a good line. But yeah, Homer. We're a Homer show today.
Jose Vegas asking Ingram and Njoku full PPR.
Njoku for sure. He has been lights out. Ingram or Zay Jones, one of them seems to always go off, and I never get it right. I hate Ingram. I never want to go him. I'm going to go fill up my water, CJ, if you want to rip through a couple.
Yep. So Giuseppe's asking, drop Corey Davis or DP or for DJ Chark. Also have Zay Jones. Who would you start between the two? Corey Davis or DJ Chark. I do like DJ Chark this week, but Corey Davis has been really good with Mike White. I think. Would you? I don't know if I'd drop Corey Davis or DJ Chark.
I would. What the hell? Why do we want Corey Davis on our teams?
I don't know. Why do we need DJ Chark on our teams?
We don't want really any of them, but DJ Chark does get Minnesota. Great matchup for wide receivers today. He's coming off a 98-yard, like 84% of the snaps. I like Chark as a player. I'd rather be attached to that passing game, despite liking Mike White too. And they do have a soft schedule in the playoffs. Like I get it. But of these three, I'd rather have Chark and Zay Jones myself. I'd rather start, I think, Chark.
Yeah.
Or Zay. I don't know. I like Zay today too. Great matchup for him as well. I go Zay.
Josie's asking Tannehill, Daniel Jones, or Mike White.
Oh boy. I'm going to go Mike White.
Hideous quarterback situation.
It's bad, but White's come through. And even last week, he didn't throw any touchdowns. He still ended up being like a top 15 quarterback option. Buffalo's good. Good passing. And Tre'Davious White's now back. So like that does not make it any easier.
If they go down early, too.
A lot of the game script should be in Mike White's favor. They average the most passing yards and most pass attempts in the league the last 2 years when Zach Wilson's not under center. It's crazy. Even more than the Chiefs. So I go with it. I just ride the Mike White.
I love that stuff. I hate Zach Wilson. Juan Polito, which one do I sit in full PPR? Pacheco, Knight, Homer, Cook.
I think I should sit Cook because it's still not locked in. I mean, he looked really good, and maybe he did take that role, but the volume's going to be there with the first three. So yeah, I sit Cook.
One again, full PPR, MVS, Marcus Robinson, Parker, Dortch.
Full PPR. I like Dortch. I talked about him a lot today. Big fan of Dortch. He's been above 13 points in all 4 games he's played without Rondale. I know no Hopkins, no Marquise Brown. One of them was out for every single time. Dortch had a solid day, so maybe he does just fade into oblivion. But that slot receiver role, like he'll be out there for about 75-80% of the snaps, and we know Kyler likes to pepper him. Like I'm into Dortch. I really like him in PPR leagues.
Yeah.
So I like Dortch first, and then I do like DeMarcus Robinson. He's a guy I'm playing a lot of DraftKings today. So I like Huntley and I like DeMarcus. We'll see if nothing like targeting the lowest total game, CJ. I'm just stacking up like Pickens, DeMarcus, Andrews, like Huntley, the lowest total game on the board. I think that game has a little more juice than Vegas has given it. We'll see.
I was going to say I wouldn't think that'd be the lowest.
It's 36.5 is the over-under. It's below the Broncos, for Christ's sake.
Jesus. Yeah, that surprised me a lot. Brian Christensen.
Who do you like of these guys?
What?
Who do you like of these 4?
I'd probably go Dortch, especially in full PPR. I mean, I know you like DeMarcus Robinson. I don't really love the player at all. MVS, never. He's so hit or miss. I mean, he could always blow up, but like
right,
it happens twice a year. And then
Dortch is my favorite too. Yeah,
nothing in the Patriots offense.
We're agreed.
Brian Christensen, great show. Need to bench one of these. Half PPR. Pacheco, Foreman, Harris, White, Woods.
Man. So
is that Jelani Woods?
Yeah, I mean that's a pretty obvious one. Jelani Woods. Like, why would he even be? He's on bye week, right? No, it's got to be another Woods. Do you think it's James Cook and you just typed it in wrong? Because Jelani Woods is on bye week, so I mean,
I don't know
I
how
don't
you,
think it's Jay Woods.
I don't know how you mix up the C and the W on the keyboard.
Yeah, Cook. I mean, if it's Jelani Woods, that's obviously the easy answer here. Let's pretend it's James Cook. This would come down to White versus Cook for me, and I'm actually intrigued because we've gotten a lot of Rashad White and Fournette questions today. What's your take? Because Fournette's in. It's the 49ers. It's the worst possible matchup for running backs. Do you touch either of those guys today? Or, like, what's your stance on the backfield for Tampa Bay?
Brady still peppers them. I still like. I think Rashad White's playable. Like,
Yeah, absolutely.
I'd rather him over Cook. We still don't. Cook's still, I think, like unknown for one more week. If he does have another 15 plus touches, then I'd probably go Cook next week. But I'm gonna wait a week on Cook.
Right. That is true too. It's going to be a rainy game, and like Brady will find your mismatch. And so even if that's running backs, they're not going to do much. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of upside, especially to White in PPR, in even in half, that he catches 8 balls today. And is one of the main veins of the passing attack. So yeah, I like benching, whether it's Jelani Woods, whether it's James Cook, whoever it is, we're benching that last one.
What's up, boys? Mike Hawk.
I like that. That is a fullback if I've ever heard one. Mike Hawk up the middle. Cowboy.
I think it's supposed to be a joke.
Oh yeah, Mike Hawk too.
What's up,
Mike Hawk jammed up the middle on a fullback dive.
Full PR, need some flex help. Judy or Mike Evans?
We're getting a lot of Evans questions today. And I have Evans in only one league, but I get it. I get why they're coming in. I benched him for Christian Watson last week, and I loved myself for it. I still it's like I don't want to go to the Broncos, though. I'm just going to hope, when you bench Evans is the 25, 30-point day. If I go down because I played Mike Evans, that's better than, Judy. It's the Broncos. I'm going to go Mike Evans.
Yeah, I'm going Mike Evans myself.
Yeah.
Krana Saw. Like and subscribe, everyone. These guys are awesome. Your favorite chip? What's your favorite chips?
I'm a big Doritos guy. I love the purple Doritos, the sweet and spicy ones. Like, those ones are great.
I love Doritos. They just get my fingers messy.
Oh, yeah. It's definitely a messy chip. It's like you're home for the night. You're not leaving. At a party, it gets kind of nasty when you have all the Dorito fingers everywhere. I do love Cape Cod chips, though.
I love Cape Cod chips.
So good. Do you have a favorite flavor of Cape Cod?
Just the regular ones.
The salt and pepper is so good. As are the mesquite barbecue, and then the waves where they do the sour cream and white cheddar. Love sour cream white cheddar chips. But yeah, great question, Krana. We'll have to do that off season where we draft chip flavors and shit like that.
We'll do funnier things in the off.
We'll crush some funny things in the off season for you guys.
Would you go Gino or Kyler today?
See, I've gotten this one twice now, and both times my mind just kind of gravitates to Gino, and I think I have Kyler above him in the rankings. You know what, though? Okay, I was feeling Gino. It's safer. And I hope the other person that's tuned in, they had a super flex, and I said Gino over Kyler. But this is going to be the first time we get Kyler with Hopkins, with Marquise Brown. I know no Rondale Moore, but two of the big guns are here. He hasn't had that all year. And then I like Greg Dortch. I think Greg Dortch is just as good as Rondale Moore. Maybe not quite the freak athlete, but he serves the slot role just as well. I'm going to go Kyler and just hope for air raid is finally unlocked. I do think he's an idiot, Cliff Kingsbury. I don't think it will ever be truly unlocked till he's gone. Yeah. But that's some great weaponry. And we know the rushing upsides are also there with Kyler. So I'm going to go Kyler over Gino. It's my 7 and 8, but I'm flipping it. And I told somebody else earlier, Gino over Kyler. Nah, there's too much upside with Kyler.
Yeah, I mean, Kyler, he's such a baby. I don't really, as long as he puts up fantasy points, it's fine.
Yeah, as long as he gets the points, baby. Fresh off the bye.
In this same question, would you stack Palmer? Would you stack Dortch with Kyler? Because he's asking Palmer, Dortch, or Corey Davis.
Yeah, so I have to decide Palmer versus Dortch myself. It was full PPR or no? It doesn't tell us. I still like Palmer. I do. We saw last time Mike Willie came back, he still was the clear number 3, and they most often roll out 11 personnel, 3 receivers. But yeah, I like Palmer. I think Palmer's going to always have a role. Give me him. Yeah, I'm going to go Palmer. I keep going back and forth, but I'm going to go Palmer. What about you, CJ?
Yeah, I always love a piece of the Chargers offense, even though they haven't been what they should have been this year. But
I think tonight is where we finally see Keenan Allen, Mike Williams, Palmer is the 3. Like this is going to be the night.
Herbert
Obviously,
finally
Eckler.
explodes. We've been waiting so long for Herbert to do something.
This is going to be it. This is a blow up.
And then Eagles or Chiefs defense.
I mean, Chiefs get Broncos. Giants for Eagles is pretty tasty too. I'm going to go Chiefs because that's who I have in my league. So selfishly, like that's who I'm rooting for harder. So I'm going to go Chiefs. What about you?
I mean, defense. I'm not a huge defense guy.
No.
Hope and pray. It's like the tight end spot for me.
I think the Giants have more to play for too, though. So it's like I could see them giving the Eagles more of a game. I think the Chiefs just smash the Broncos, and then you got Russell just like chucking his ducks everywhere. I mean, there's a lot of upside for the Chiefs.
Yeah. Sip and walk. Full PPR. Hollywood, Knight, Homer, or White in the flex.
I love Hollywood, but I'm telling you, my gut's screaming Travis Homer today. Has it steered me wrong before? Of course, but I don't know. I weirdly feel good about Travis Homer. I don't know. What do you think about Homer versus Hollywood?
I think I'm going Hollywood.
I think, it's Hollywood. It's Marquise Brown. Like he's a good player. Now he's getting secondary coverage with Hopkins on the other side. Like, I go Hollywood.
Usually see him scoring today.
Yeah, I could. Monday Night Football, yeah.
Millie C's asking, I'm starting Najee and Jeff Wilson. Pick one for the flex. Pierce, Homer, or DC.
All the Homer in the world, baby. What about Dameon Pierce versus Homer? You got Pierce in a real tough spot against Baltimore. They could be getting just blown out early and often. I think I trust the talent of Pierce here, though.
Go Homer here.
You're going Homer over Pierce?
I think so, yeah.
I think I'm going to go Pierce. I think that's where I draw the line.
This year, I haven't been a big Pierce fan. I know he's had his like little moments, but I think I'm going Homer here.
I'm going to go Pierce. So we're split between Pierce and Homer, Millie C.
Kid Trickster, Dobbins, Breida, Jalen Warren, or Tony Jones.
Tell you this one, it's never Tony Jones. And of course, he's probably going to be the one that ruins Travis Homer week for us. Like, we're going to be all in on Homer. Tony Jones will plot in for 2 gross touchdowns and ruin our week. I mean, out of this list, I think I am going to go Tony Jones. Like, it could have been Breida if Barkley was out, but that's kind of useless now. Dobbins, I'm not trusted in his first week back. I guess I'm going to go Tony Jones and hope he does ruin Travis Homer.
Yeah, I guess so.
I don't want to root for that, so I'm not rooting for it, Kid Trickster. But if these are the 4 options I was presented with, I'd go Tony. It's never works out, though. Tony Jones never fucking works out.
No, he's terrible.
But I don't know who else I would go to here. Dobbins, just like hope he scores and like bank on talent.
This one, I have no opinion on this one. I'll roll with you. Whatever you say.
I guess I go Tony. Like that's truly who I'd go, and I would not like myself.
Tunes asking, need a receiver 2 and a flex. Gabe, Hollywood, Pickens, Deontay Johnson. I
go Hollywood first, and I think I go Gabe. Like him,
2 of them.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Gabe first, and I think I go Gabe over Pickens, but it's close. They're similar plays in my opinion. Yeah, I'm going Hollywood and Gabe. What about you?
I like that. Christensen, great show. Need to bench 2 of these. Oh, we already got this. Roderick, start 2 of these. Dortch, Sherfield.
It was Jay Cook. That makes more sense.
Palmer,
so yeah. Oh, you needed to bench 2 though. So, I didn't realize it was benching 2. I'd bench Cook and White there. Like I feel pretty good about those other 3 running backs. Pacheco versus White's a little tricky, but I think they'll be up big, and you attack the Broncos best through the run. He only played 20% of the red zone snaps last week, though. Mm-hmm. But I love Harris. I like Foreman. Those are like my locks. I go Pacheco over White, I think, though. The 49ers match up the committee. That scares me.
Yeah, I'd take the starter over the backup.
Yeah. So the first 3 backs for you, Brian, is who we play.
And then start 2 of these, Dortch, Sherfield, Palmer, Parker.
Dortch, I feel best about, and then Palmer. Yeah. Broderick, I mean, good Lord. Some of your sit starts are loaded. What the hell has happened here? But yeah, Dortch and Palmer for sure for me. Sherfield and Parker? Oh my God.
Hannibal is asking Gabe, Zay Jones, or Michael Gallup.
I guess so. I do want to get to Hannibal, obviously. Like I hadn't thought about Parker much, but now that Myers is out, like, does a Patriots receiver emerge and get like 8 targets? I think Hunter Henry ends up being the guy. Like the tight end matchups are so good.
Honestly, I don't know if anyone's fantasy relevant.
I'm certainly going to go Dortch or Palmer over Parker anyways, but I guess I shouldn't have dismissed Parker. Like Sherfield, no. He had that 75-yard touch. I'm like, no, like we're not going to Sherfield. But Parker is a little more intriguing. Like I had him right now below like MVS and Duvernay and Moore. I think Parker belongs above them. I don't hate Parker the more I think about it, but I'm still going to go Dortch and Palmer. But let's toss Parker as like somebody you could potentially desperately stream. I think he could be in that conversation.
He'd be desperate.
He's had a couple big days with Mac. Mac has like shown some trust in him to make the big play. But yeah, Dortch and Palmer still, but I wanted to revisit it. I did.
Yeah.
All right, Hannibal, what do we got for you?
So actually, Hannibal. You know that the Survivor League that I'm in that has like $40,000.
Yeah, is he still alive?
He was left with 18 people, and he had the fucking Raiders on Thursday night.
Oh,
so bad.
Oh, Baker Mayfield down Hannibal's throat. Oh God, is there any way worse to have like lose? Like I was talking about this earlier season. I don't even know if I like root against or for Baker. Like I wouldn't be mad if he succeeds, and I'm also not mad if he's gone. You hate him, or
no? I know I like him.
Oh, okay. So you root for him. I thought he sounded at first. I was like, fuck this guy. He's a loser. But the way he talked in the post game interview, like he seems to have swallowed at least a little bit of humble pie. And how could you not? But at least he did. Like, because if you were still walking in, like, yeah, that's who I am, baby. Like, boom, 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 Baker, the double guns. Like, then I'd be like, fuck this loser. But the fact that he's like talking more about his team and how he's like so grateful for a second chance and stuff, I think he might get it finally. And maybe he does turn it back on.
That made me think like that game itself, when people were like, "Oh, this quarterback can't understand this playbook." Baker came in 2 days and ran a completely fine offense.
McVay's just so smart how he simplifies it. Like, and then they talked about, I don't know if you saw the post-game interview, how like McVay was like, "What do you like? Like, I know you from your air raid days with Oklahoma. Here's the play." Like they kind of worked really quickly together. Like these are the few calls that we just go to when the timing is tough. So it was cool. It was good to see. I'm rooting for him, I guess. I'm on Team Baker now. I was on the fence, but I'm pushed over.
Except for Hannibal losing out on $40,000.
Yeah, sorry about that one, Hannibal. But okay, so Gabe Davis, Zay, or Mike. I think this is one where it's like, why not go Gabe? I know it's a dice roll. I know he's boom or bust, but it's Zay Jones. Like, yes, he had 14 and 10 targets. There's probably a safer floor to Zay Jones and a good matchup against Tennessee. And I'd still rather go for the 30-point blow up of Gabe. What about you?
I'm gonna live and die by Gabe Davis.
Yeah, he makes and he breaks. It's true, and I'd rather die with Gabe in my lineup than Zay Jones. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, I feel you.
We do have a call-in, I think. Is Tunes there? It's Gray. There he is. What's up, Tunes?
So Homer's not starting.
Oh, is Tony J
They
started?
just announced it. Tony Jones is the starter now.
Okay. Interesting.
Kind of ruins a lot
Yeah,
of
but
questions.
that also doesn't mean a ton. Like,
I agree.
Just want the first snap.
Tony will get the first snap. He'll get the first crack of things. Does he get a hot hand? Probably not, because Tony Jones is a bag of shit. But it does put a little bit. It is worth talking about. Like, it would be so much more simple if Tony Jones was starting. I mean, if Travis Homer was, and we could just lock him in. That does make it a little riskier, Tunes. I appreciate you coming in and sharing the note.
You got it.
So, like, if that's the case, and thank you, Tunes. Now it's like, okay, Zonovan Knight, Pacheco. Like, I think I bump Homer below them now, where like Damian Pierce, so we're like, maybe we go Homer. I still feel much better about Homer than Tony Jones, but this does make him a little riskier. My guess is this is going to make everybody pivot off of Tony Jones. I mean, Travis Homer and DraftKings, and I'm gonna ride it. I'm gonna go down with the ship here with Travis Homer. But I'm not going to force him in over Zonovan Knight, over Pacheco. Maybe no more Singletary or White at this point. You probably have to bump Travis Homer below them just a little bit. So he falls to running back 26. That means I still believe in him. I'd rather have him than like Fournette. But I'd rather have Travis Homer.
I'm looking this up too.
Yeah, get some more nuggets on this. I'm gonna bump him down a little bit for now, but I wanna get more info here. All right, so we've left off on Frazier McDonald, Homer or Pirine. Even still, with Homer not the starter, I'm still going to go Homer here. Frazier, message me on Twitter. I have something I want to send you. Because you're from Scotland, if I remember correctly. There's a good podcast, CJ. I'll send it your way, too. There's that like New Year's Eve song? Do you like Ald? I forget, like Ald say something in a different language. You would have recognized the song because it's like a chant that you often sing on New Year's. You would have at least heard of it. Really good podcast on the history of that and like how it applied to World War I and stuff. Really cool stuff. So Frazier, message me for that. But go Homer today. Homer or Mike Williams? I'm gonna go Mike Williams, especially now. Like we're chasing there. Let's chase the Chargers. Huge upside, like Thursday night or Sunday night shootout. I like Mike Williams a lot today. Carter or White? I'm gonna go Rashad White there. I think Zonovan really has put Michael Carter down well below him at this point. Pick one of Homer, James Cook, White, or P. Ryan. I still lean Homer, but Homer versus Cook. Homer versus White is even tough now. Maybe I go Rashad White. Like we got to figure out more information here. Let us know when you find some info on this. CJ.
Yeah, I'm on. Someone tweeted that Schefter said it, but I'm looking at Schefter's timeline. I'm not seeing anything. I'll continue to look.
Yeah, we'll see. But I'm going to go Homer for now, Frazier, but we're gathering more information on this situation. Etienne, Jay Wilson, DPJ, Knight, Homer, must win. You got to pick one. I'm going Etienne of those guys. Facing Foreman and Homer today for my fan. Oh, man. So he needs him to flounder. I think Foreman's he's a really strong play today, in my opinion. Number 2 matchup for running backs. Not a game that's too big of a risk to get game flowed out of. They could come out hot. I think Foreman's in a really good spot. Homer now is a little bit like I'm going to go Jeff Wilson for sure over Homer in my league where I have that question. We got to find more information, but the fact that Tony Jones might start over him, I think Tony Jones sucks. And I think the team, he just got signed a couple weeks ago. Homer's been there from day one. He's a good pass protector. He's reliable. Tony Jones might get the start. I still think we see about 65, 70% of snaps go to Homer. And Tony Jones is just a complete.
It does say it's a Royal World blurb. Schefter expects Tony Jones to start over Travis Homer. But I mean,
I don't think that makes much of a difference.
We had this a few weeks ago. I forget who it was with someone getting the start. It didn't matter.
Exactly. I think that's the case here. He'll get the first couple carries. They'll realize Tony Jones is a bag of shit. And then Travis Homer does so much more for our offense right now. So I think Homer, even if he doesn't start, is still viable. It is riskier now. I did bump him below Rashad White, below Zonovan Knight, below Pacheco. But I still feel okay playing him. It's riskier for sure, though, now. That's no doubt about it. All right, we got a super chat coming in from Jose Laredo.
We have an earlier super chat, too, that we missed.
From him?
No, this one.
Okay.
Did you do
that? No, we did not.
Flex, full PPR, P. Ryan Dortch on Kolonku.
That's the Tennessee tight end.
Or Westbrook and Kenai.
So thank you so much, Ron. I'm sorry I missed that one. As I tried to, I hate saying it because it comes off like a douchebag, but in the StreamYard program, anything under $4.99 doesn't alert us. And I don't know how to change that. I've emailed them. It doesn't seem like there is a way to change that. So these don't pop up. I know CJ will be chat tracking those. We usually have Campanelli on the help with the private chat. Let us know when those come in.
Campanelli's out playing Santa with his kids.
Yeah, exactly. Fucking come on. Grow up. Caring for your kids around the Christmas season. Come on. Your fantasy teams matter more than your children. But sorry, Ron WB. We usually see these things. So hopefully you're still here and hopefully you can give your answer. You should have cut the line. We apologize. Of these options, full PPR, I like Dortch the best. I think Okonkwo has some real nice blow-up potential. I really do. The Tennessee tight end with no Burks now, they're going to need it. But with Mixon back, I just don't trust P. Ryan. He could catch a touchdown. He's going to be more involved, probably catch a couple balls. But I just feel good about what Dortch has done, even with Hopkins and Brown now in the lineup. I know it's 2 big mouths to feed. They do use their slots really well there in Arizona. So I like Dortch of all these options. What about you?
Yeah, no, I'm with you here with this group. Easily Dortch.
And thank you so much again, Ron, for the super chat. Sorry if we missed that one for a little longer than we should have. Jose with the next one.
Pickens, White, or Wilson?
I think I go guessing Wilson is Jeff or Garrett, either one. I go Wilson here. And who is Robert Woods? No way. Peoples Jones for me. Definitely Jose. I don't want anything to do with Robert Woods. No way. So yeah, give me Jeff Wilson. Give me Peoples Jones there.
What is your This is a different question, just from I got a text from it. Would you still start Brandon Ayuk this week over Foreman?
No, I'd go Foreman there. Yeah, I would go there. So if we left off before those super chats, and thank you again, Ron WB. Sorry to miss that one and not let you cut the line like we promised. We try to keep our word. We did not have our usual moderator here that tells us when the super chats come in. So CJ will be keeping a bigger hawk eye out for those. All righty. Steven Hernandez.
Steven Hernandez, full PPR, Fournette, Walker, or James Cook, or Knight?
I would go. Well, Walker's not playing. I like Knight. I do. Out of these options, I'm going to go Zonovan. He's the clear lead back. They talked all week about how he's going to remain in that role. So I'm going to go Zonovan Knight there.
Yeah, I'm with you. Jordan Schwam, pick two of these. JWJ.
Jeff Wilson Jr.
Oh. Gabe or Homer. So bench one.
I'm going to bench, I think, Homer now. Like at this point, the little bit more risk. Like, what if Tony did get a hot hand? What if Tony does eat a lot of the goal line work? I was really expecting Homer starts and Homer gets like 70% of the snaps, and I still think he gets 60 or so percent of the work, but he's a little riskier now. So we'll see.
Steven Hernandez, Godwin, Debo, or Gabe?
I go Godwin. I love Godwin today.
Yeah, me too.
They're going to get pressure. His cornerback matchup looks great. If you look at wide receiver cornerback charts, they're going to heavy pressure. Brady just raves about him. I feel great about Godwin.
Yeah, I'm with you. Craig Hawley, flex play, Gabe Davis, Cook, Darius Slayton.
Another one where I just go Gabe. Like shitty enough options. Like, they're not shitty. They're all kind of, boom or bust. Go for the one that has the biggest boom potential, and that's Gabe.
Yep. Manalakas, Stash, Breida, or Kelly?
Oh, man. I mean, you got Saquon already dinged up. If they get knocked out sooner than later from playoff hunt, I think we could see Saquon rest. So I think I go Breida. But you know what, Charlie? Like, watch the game today, stash Breida, and then cut him for Kelly because you got an 8 p.m. game tonight. Like, if Saquon looks fully healthy and it's like nothing ever happened, then there's no reason to have Breida. But maybe you get ahead of it at 1 and something happens to Saquon. And if not, you have the option to maybe go to Kelly. I'd rather leave that open.
The Mountain Man. Full PPR, pick 4 of these. Davis, Pickens, Jamal Williams, Rashad White.
Okay, so we're just
4.
benching 1, right? 1, 2. There's 4 options there. So I go all 4.
maybe pick 1, I guess, or rank them.
I'll rank them, Mountain Man. Despite your poorly worded question, we do want to help you out. I would rank them Jamal Williams. I would then go Gabe Davis, then Pickens, then White, I think. I'm a little down on White, and I like the player. I'm worried about the matchup in the committee. And I go Tua over Gino. I just like that game tonight.
Yeah. Giuseppe, Gallup or James Cook?
James Cook, I guess. I'm worried that the Cowboys just smash and then bleed the clock.
And then Homer or Singletary?
I go. See, now it's like Homer's all. I was so confident in freaking Homer. Like, I wouldn't even batted an eye here.
Yeah.
I think I go Homer, though. I don't want to. I'm too far committed to Homer at this point. I don't think Tony Jones starting is enough for me to get off of him.
Over Singletary?
I think so. I don't know. Singletary's been
I
good.
think I may go Singletary there. But.
Yeah, it's safer. Singletary's safer. I'm gonna bump Singletary up over Homer.
Our girl Sarah Riley, flex one of these. Higgins, Jamal Williams, Jeff Wilson. Always impossible questions.
Yeah, Sarah Riley with the fucking brutal questions every week. I'm going Higgins though. I feel like Higgins is clearly above these two. What about you?
Yeah, I'm with you.
So there's that. That's where that came from.
And then Zachary Y. Flex need to start 1. Waddle, Keenan, Debo. I like Waddle.
I go Waddle, yeah. No, I like Keenan there. I really like Keenan today. I think Keenan's in a great spot.
Eduardo, Hero, drop 1. Breida, Gainwell, or Jordan Mason?
I mean, they all suck.
Are you worried about Christian McCaffrey? Like, I feel like his workload's going to increase so much, and he's just going to burst.
I think Mason's worth holding on to for sure. I think the upside handcuffs are definitely Jordan, Mason, and Breida here. That's where I lean.
Marino lost Lamar and have Dak on my roster. Do I stick with Dak even though his ceiling is low? I wouldn't say his ceiling is low. Or grab Mike White and Huntley. No,
I stick with Dak. Yeah, the high floor and the ceiling's not terrible. Like it's pretty good ceiling in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean,
It's
he's
less-
not going to give you. He
less
may
than
not give
last
you like a 40-point Justin Fields day, but he'll still give you 20.
Right.
20.
It's a really nice floor and a solid like top 12
I
ceiling.
like his ceiling more than Mike White's.
Yeah,
Giuseppe Russo. If I could get both your opinions, I need a safe option, so I go Ayuk or Zay Jones.
Neither are safe. One has Brock Purdy thrown to him. One is Zay Jones.
Honestly, I'd probably go with Zay Jones.
If you want safer, I do think Zay Jones has a better chance to hit, but I like Ayuk the player, so I think I'm going to go Ayuk here, but neither are safe.
Purdy is horrific. He had a cute game last week, but he is a very bad football.
I don't think he has to be great. He just has to get the ball to him. I think Purdy's going to be
It's an
okay.
easy offense where they can do all short stuff, and Shanahan
Like,
will keep him comfortable, but he shouldn't be in the NFL.
We've seen like CJ Beathard put up like 300 yards in that offense. Like you don't have to be anything in the Kyle Shanahan system. It's QB proof.
This one.
Oh, you got it.
Josh Campa, Palmer, Slayton.
I go Palmer. What about you?
Yeah, I've never been a Slayton.
I don't mind Slayton, but I prefer the Chargers offense, even if it's the number 3 in there.
Marco Tucci, Aguilar, Westbrook and Kind, Chris Moore, Dorsett, Pirine.
Wow, we're in tough spots.
He needs 2 of these.
I'm gonna go Chris Moore. I feel like last time all the Texans receivers were out, Moore stepped up with 446 and a touchdown. Dorsett had 3 for 69. I think this is one where I'd go Moore, and it's like Pirine. Hope he's more involved. He's already kind of involved as a third down back, but maybe these last 2 weeks have earned him a closer to a 50% snap share. Like this is just hideous. So let's go with the Pirine and hope he's got like 50% snaps. And Chris Moore is my next favorite.
Yeah, actually, I told Stallings to pick to play Chris Moore today.
Yeah, it's gross, but hey, it's an option.
Christy with the super chat. Thank you, sir. Mike Williams or Devonta?
Ooh, that's tough. Smith is certainly safer. Like he's kind of inherited the target share that Goddard left behind. He's honestly been even steadier than like AJ Brown. Certainly has the boom ceiling. I'd much rather have AJ Brown, but Smith has really steadied out here. So I do go Smith. I have him at 20 and Mike Williams at 22. Obviously tantalizing upside to Mike Williams in a shootout game, but like
I can never quit him whenever he's in the lineup. I have to play.
Never quit him either. But then there's the risk of what we had happen last time. Ankle flares up. He catches one ball. He's done for the day. Like, Devonta's in. Devonta's probably going to get 8 to 12 targets and good chance to boom as well. So, yeah, I think there's just a much better floor with Smith. Even though it's less exciting, less ceiling. Unless you were like a 30-point dog, I go Devonta here.
Yeah, I'm with you there. Where are we?
We were right at like mini Jordan.
Homer Knight.
I go Knight there. It would have been Homer probably 20 minutes ago, but the sketchiness about not starting is me backtracking a little bit on my Homer love. Still like him, but I don't know.
I still don't know how much it matters, but
I like Knight. I like Knight anyways, so I don't have much questions about Knight. I have some questions about Homer. I loved him on like the chance he was 75% of the snaps. I still think he's about the 60% snap guy, but a lot riskier.
Thank you, Jordan.
Thank you, Jordan.
Evan Buss. Wolf, I need some upside to take down a guy for a playoff berth. Najee, Juju, or Homer full PPR?
I think for upside, I'd actually kind of like Juju here. I know he's been a little bit of a dud the last couple since he got back from injury, but he had 20 points in 3 straight games in full PPR. I talked about this earlier with the truth. The the Broncos, obviously a really good pass defense, but the last 5 weeks, they've been the worst against the slot for whatever reason. I don't know why. Obviously, they could scheme it differently and go after Juju, but they've allowed plus 10 to wide receivers out of the slot compared to outside receivers where they're like one of the worst matchups. So no Juju is obviously one of the bigger slot guys in the league. So I like Juju for upside here. What about you?
Well, you just talked me into it. I was thinking Najee, but he's so disgusting. I'll go with you.
There's just not a lot of upside to Najee. Like he was the running back 3 just 2-3 weeks ago, but otherwise it's been a pretty good floor. It's been like 10 to 11 every single week. He's been like the running back 30, running back 27, running back 24.
Yep.
You need upside. You want Juju to be like the wide receiver 5 on the week. And he could.
The Mount. Oh, we already did this one. Russo, any concern about the Jones over Homer situation?
A little bit. I mean, it makes me a little bit more skeptical. Yes, it does. And we do have a call in, so let's pull it on up.
Let's
What's going on,
go.
Petty? Happy Sunday, baby.
What's going on, boys?
Hey, you coming to see us next week?
We're gonna see you next Saturday or what?
Next Saturday. I think I might be at the firehouse, so I might not be able to.
Take it off. Hey, we're hanging up this call. See you later.
Guys gonna go save a few cats in the trees.
Yeah, thanks.
Hey, last time we were there, it was who was it that blew up for us? There's somebody that we both were playing.
I think it was it Gay? Oh, it was Isaiah McKenzie.
It's Isaiah McKenzie, yeah.
McKenzie week. That's right. Yeah.
I think I was gonna make it because I know you guys changed the date. I think I was gonna be there.
Well, now that Brazil's out of the World Cup, I don't really care about the final anymore. So we
All right, boys. I won't waste much of your time. I gotta stream somebody for Justin Fields. Would you go Goff or Tyler Huntley?
I go Goff there. I'm rolling Huntley myself, but Goff wasn't an option. If he had been, I would have gone with him. I feel really good. Good stat I heard that could hopefully help comfort you in your decision was Goff at home is actually averaging nearly 30 points a game. He's like 28.5 fantasy points per game. They were calling the dome there the Coors Field of like fantasy baseball, where it's just like points on points on points on the Lions turf this year.
Okay.
You got Minnesota on the other side, so you're likely going to have a shootout game. Bad defense, just there's a nice floor to Goff, and Huntley has a nice ceiling, but far less floor than Goff. And I like the ceiling and floor of Goff.
The Lions are favored today.
Isn't that nuts?
I love that so much. That's honestly everyone's gonna be in Minnesota. The Lions might smash today.
I hope they.
I love that they're favorites. So.
That's crazy. All right.
Yeah, I go Goff. I feel really good about it.
And then Mike Evans is a total pussy. Do I start Mike Williams or George Pickens over him, or do I just? I feel like he's gonna inevitably have a blow up game where I have him sitting on my bench, and I
know. Do you get it out of the way now, so it's like out of his system, and you can use him again in the playoffs? Or,
yeah.
I mean, I have Evans above both those guys. It's not. I get your reservations.
Yeah.
And last time I benched Evans was last week. I benched him for Watson, and obviously that came through huge for me. It's something about sending a message to the locker room. Maybe they you give Mike Will the call over Evans, and Mike Will sees that, and he's like, okay, I get it. I'm going for you. But no, I'm going to go Evans myself in that one.
Yeah, I'll still wait for him, I think. I always love Mike Williams, but I think I'm going to wait a week on.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes the boys just need some negative reinforcement, but I'm playing that pussy Dan Haggerty, so I got to beat his ass.
I hope you smash it around. Smack him around.
He's ugly. I'll tell you that for free.
I love it. Good stuff.
Right. Maybe we'll see you next week. If not,
hopefully we see you Saturday. But if not, best of luck anyways.
If not, call 911.
Deal. Cheers.
We'll call 911 for you.
Yes, exactly. We'll call to get you. We'll call a fire into Old Planners. But that does remind us. Next Saturday we will be live for Saturday football. Kicks off next week. We'll be live at Old Planners Brewing for anybody local. Chris D, I saw you super chatting. Get the boys from Tufts down here. Let's have a day at Old Planners Brewing. 1:00 game. We'll be there. We'll be there. Kicked off before though. 11 a.m. show. Lighten it up. Getting you guys ready to go for your Week 15, your fantasy championships. Let's go, baby. All right, we left off with Gabriel.
Hey, guys, did you start Pacheco or White?
I think we're at probably rapid fire time, too. I just saw it's 12:37. So I'm going to go Pacheco over White, and I'm going to start rapid fire in CJ just so I can make sure everything's all set for today. Yep. White or Homer? I'm going to go White now at this point, and Singletary. I'm a little bit nervous for Homer. I felt great about it. I can't go full all in right now. Bills or Bengals in a survivor pool? I probably like the Bengals more today, but the Browns seem to have their number.
The Bills.
How do the Jets worry me? I'm less worried about the Bengals.
They're not gonna sweep the Bills. They already beat them once.
Yeah. Is it at home? Is it the Bills? Bills are home?
I'm going the Bills.
I'm going to go Bengals myself. Chef, oh, yeah. So Chef just said it on ESPN, so we got those notes again.
Yeah,
That Tony Jones is starting.
Those are at home.
Yeah, that makes him a little bit better. Definitely Jeff Wilson. Yeah, CJ didn't know who JWJ was. Jeff Wilson, of course. Cooper on a pitch count. Ooh, even worse. He's already bad on the road. Now he's on a pitch count. I mean, DJ Chark is a pretty low bar to go to, but that's nerve-wracking. I'm going to keep bumping him down below like DJ Moore. I still think Chark's a little bit too low for me to go over Cooper, but if you trust it, KJ, if that's your gut, you can go. You wouldn't go. I don't know. What do you think, CJ? The risk of Cooper on the road on a pitch count, like with Watson.
I don't know. It's the last week of the regular season. I'd play my stud over Chark.
Yeah, I think I would too. But that's honestly my gut's like.
Honestly, I really with receivers, I don't really believe in pitch counts. Like, are they? They're gonna say, "Oh, you're on play 15 in the second quarter. You're out for the rest of the game."
Yeah, if he's going to be in for the routes too. It's not like they're going to be like maybe they remove him from some like blocking duties, but they're going to need points. Yeah, I'm going to stick with Cooper there, but there is definitely a lot of risk. But Chark's just not a good enough option, KJ. Rapid fire. Pierce over White. Yeah, I do, but I don't love it. Neither have a safe floor or ceiling. Like honestly, Pierce probably has the higher ceiling just in case he just has like the full on 3-down roll and he gets the dump offs. White might be a little bit of a safer floor, but against the 49ers, there's not much of a floor there either. Don't love either. Bo, pick 2 for the flex, 1 PPR. Cook, Knight, Juju, Gabe, or Dulcich. I like Juju and I like Bam Knight there, Bo. Gabe Davis versus Knight's close though. Like if you really want the upside injection of Dave over Knight or Gabe Davis over him, I could justify it. But Juju's my favorite here. And then I think I go Knight over Gabe very slightly. Happy Sunday. What's up, Fatty? Pick 2 of these studs. Murray McKinnon, James Cook. Some real running back 1 horses there for you, Fatty Mateo. I never liked Lat, but like he's got the best volume situation here. I think I bench McKinnon there. Daron Cheese, Fournette or White? I'm going to go White over Fournette. James Cook or Cooper? I'm going to go Cooper, but I don't like this pitch count. Like gross options all around. And yeah, Sebastian, unfortunately, it seems like Homer is not starting, but I still think he's the preferred option. We will see. Myers or McPherson? I'm going McPherson. Thielen or Palmer? I'm going to go Thielen against Detroit. Knight or Dobbins? Going Knight for sure, Steven. Slayton, Zay, or Davis? I'm going to go Slayton. Kyle Meyer. Boyd, Gabe, Bam, Jeff Wilson. I think I'm going to actually go Jeff, going back to my guy. I think they're going to ride him tonight. Zay or Homer? I'm going to go, I think Zay now. Love this discussion and advice. Thank you, Kristen. Much appreciated. Indeed. Like, shares, subscribe, especially a lot of new names we're catching here at the end. Would love to have you join as we climb to 3K. We're about 45, 50 away. Let's do it, Wolfpack. Thank you so much, Kristen, for being such a loyal fan all season. Tannehill or Huntley? I'm going Huntley, Giuseppe. Mike Williams, I would go Pickens over Palmer myself. Y2J. Morning Trey S. Full PPR start 2. I'm going to go Juju, and I'm going to go Singletary. I don't know. I don't like any of the others, but I do feel good about Juju. Huntley, Mike White, or Brady? I'm going Huntley. Same idea. I have Fields out as well. Thank you, Ryan. You guys are awesome calling out douchebags in your league. Love it. Yeah, call out the douches for sure. You start 3. Oh, yo. Okay. Yo, what's up, Edward? Start 3. Waddle, Swift, Zeke, Godwin, Wilson, White. I'm going Waddle. I'm going Zeke, and I'm going Godwin there, Edward. Lots of good options. Loaded team. Huntley, Brady, or Goff. I'm going to go Huntley. No, Detroit. I'm going Goff. I feel good about Goff today. Goff, for sure. Oh, Super Chat coming in. 1241, so just a minute ago. Sorry, Joe. Should have got there first for you. Debo, Pacheco, Wilson Jr., White. Pick 1. I'm leaning Wilson Jr. I'm going back to the well. I know it's risky after 1 carry last week, but he talked about how he needed to get the running game going, how Jeff needs more touches. I feel like it's a little safer, riskier than Pacheco, but far more upside against the Chargers run D, just getting battered in the run game this year. Debo's very intriguing there too. If you wanted to pivot to Debo, I wouldn't blame you, but I think that game's going to be gross, Niners versus Bucks, which is crazy to think that 2 playoff teams last year would be gross. What are your thoughts on this Super Chat, CJ? Debo, Pacheco, Wilson, or Rashad White?
I think I go Wilson here.
I do too. Okay.
Yeah, I like the matchup. Pacheco, I still am not buying into. Rashad in a committee. Debo. The 49ers just they're kind of dead to me the rest of the year, except for Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah, unless Purdy shows big today, but I'd like to see it before I have to believe it. You know? Yeah. We're aligned. Let's go, Jeff, baby. We're a Jeff Wilson show. Always have been. One bad week. We're not souring on our love. Mostert or Knight or J.K. Dobbins. Not Dobbins. Knight and Mostert are close because it is a good matchup, and Mostert did outsnap Jeff last week. But I'm going Bam Knight. White or Zay Jones? Rashad White, I guess. Giuseppe, you got to fucking decide on these. Like, you're asking the same three players rotating. Homer or this guy. They're all the same tiers. I'll go White over Zay Jones, but it's tough, man. It is fucking tough. Full PPR. He could go off against Tennessee, but I think I go White. It's really close. You ask too many difficult questions, Giuseppe. Pissing me off over here. Asking too many good questions. Y2J. Pierce slowing down. Good. James Cook is definitely a guy you should have stashed for your playoff run. He could definitely take that backfield over. And I'm going Huntley over Tannehill. Alec Horrell. All righty, Wolfpack. That wraps us up. My updated rankings hitting published now. You can find them for any last-minute decisions at RotoStreetJournal.com. We breed and feed you fantasy wolves. I'll be live at 7:30 with our guy, The Truth. On your way out, that thumbs up button would be so greatly appreciated. Thank you so much to those of you who super chatted, especially you, Jeff Lee, over $50 twice this year. You've super chatted us over 50. Guy's an absolute legend. You are the super fan that dreams are made of. You guys are the best. But all you guys that consistently show up, or if you're new here, James Robinson also a healthy scratch this week, by the way. You guys are the best. So thanks so much for being here. Yes, let's get the fucking dub. Have a great fucking day, fellas. Yes, Y2J. Absolutely. Best of luck out there, Wolfpack. Let's take down some money. Let's win those playoff berths. Let's go. See you later, Wolfpack. Wolf of the Fancy Sheep. Be the wolf. Later, guys.